Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Thursday. Bryant and Brett with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to get to. College football right around the corner. A couple games tonight. NFL back in action tonight. We've got postseason baseball starting in about an hour. But Bryant and Brett with you in our family leisure studios. Brett, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great, Bryant. And don't leave out your hockey. You forgot to ask David Branch your hockey question yesterday.
Yeah, but, I mean, no offense to the Arizona Coyotes, but, as much as I would love to ask about the Arizona Coyotes, that is one franchise.
You took one for the listener, didn't you?
Yeah, nobody wants to hear about the Coyotes. Not even hockey fans want to talk about the Coyotes. So I saved a lot of people yesterday, I think.
We do have it all going. We're really going to get it all going. Tuesday night, NBA starts. Wednesday night, it starts for the 23rd year in downtown Memphis, and I can't wait. I promise you I'm as excited about next Wednesday night as that first opening night against the Detroit Pistons at the Pyramid in 2001, and really looking forward to this season. Any big ESPN think pieces today? I searched high and low and didn't see any.
No, not today. Maybe
they took a day off?
Maybe tomorrow, yeah. Who knows?
Okay. Boy, I tell you, somebody that never tires, the NCAA. And it feels like in their last hours of having any power, they're really going to try to make life miserable for a lot of people. What I would beg people, regardless of who they point at, that's when you need to unite. Because if they point at your biggest rival, don't enjoy it. You need to be on your rival side of this one. And wherever they aim, you need to support that one. This today with Michigan, I wish Michigan would tell them, you know what, off is just as far off as you can get. Lose our number. We're not complying. Don't poke around. We will have our security escort you off this campus if you show up.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But I think easier said than done to unite with your rival, especially when you're talking about Michigan and their rival, Michigan State. But I completely agree with you.
But that's what keeps digging this to kind of the lowest common denominator is 133 FBS college football teams. Mm-hmm. When they come after Michigan, instead of 132 enjoying Michigan's time under the microscope, the examination, it should be 132 going, no, this is garbage. From cheeseburgers to whatever this is. First of all, I don't know how you could regulate. Well, yeah, I do too. But it would be so easy to do now to send paid for a day scouts out to an opposing game and just hold up your iPhone on all the signaling from the bench of the opponent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What's the difference in that than having, just copies and reams of video in your video department?
That's true. No, you've got a good point, and now you see everyone so, and this will probably just make people more paranoid because of this story coming out, but we've seen over the years teams getting paranoid and having the sheets that they hold up and trying to block just anybody that might be out there looking at their signs. So I'm sure with this story, that's only going to become more popular, which I think it's hilarious anytime I see it, because it's just absolutely ridiculous.
It is, Brian. The goofiest thing about holding up the curtains is what if somebody's sitting on the other side, unobstructed by the curtains, and holding up their phone?
Yes. I mean, you got to worry about the people on the other side that you, I guess, clearly, because they're on the other side of the field, they can't see your signs or whatever. And then, the poor fans that, paid all this money to sit in the front row or the front couple of rows, and now they're trying to watch a game, and they see these curtains in the way. They can't even see the snap each play.
I've got good friends that are irate over it in Oxford.
Really?
They sit on the front row,
and
they paid big money. They want to be able to see the game, not black curtains up.
Yeah, and it's every play. I mean, when you think they're gone, here they come again, and they're up, and you can't see all the signs and the directing.
How would you like to be curtain guy?
Oh, man. Hey, I mean, look, if the salary's right, Brett, I mean,
I guess everybody wants a shot at, but just and then the NCAA today, I mean, it's really kind of everywhere, and nothing better than Bill Self, all with the self-pity, and my reputation's been immensely harmed. Hey, Bill, you're lucky you're not in jail like the shoe representative from Adidas that did time in the jug.
Sure did.
Went to jail over helping your program.
Yeah, no, I Kansas might have taken a sigh of relief after what happened a couple weeks ago, but now, I mean, I think even more of a reason for Kansas fans that just went through all this with the NCAA and some of these other teams that have had to go through the NCAA trying to hammer their program, like you said, should be uniting with Michigan and saying enough's enough.
And Kansas' trouble really wasn't that much with the NCAA.
Right.
It was a different alphabet soup.
That's right.
It was the FBI.
That is a good point. It was the FBI in there. So, yeah, I mean, it's but you're right. The NCAA seems like if they're going to go out, they're going to go out swinging.
I mean, there's a lot of difference between Pinhead from the NCAA tailing you and going through your garbage than the FBI knocking on your door.
That's right. A little bit of a difference. Some different letters in there, maybe some different power in there as well.
Did you read, and I did, it made me dumber, but I did. I clicked on it and read the Bill self-pity, poor me. Man, I'm just out here coaching ball, and they drag my name through the mud. A person went to jail directly linked to him.
Sure did. I didn't read that. Where was that?
It was at all the sites today.
Oh, wow. I must have missed that.
I made myself dumber for a minute and a half clicking on it.
No, I didn't see that, and I'm going to probably stay away from it, Brett. I probably don't want to read it. So, I'm glad you read it for me, though.
I did. I was looking out for you.
Yeah, you're looking out for me because I sure as heck don't want to read it. But no, very weird, though, that this NCAA thing comes down. Of all weeks, Michigan versus Michigan State week, I think maybe the only worst week it could come down on is Michigan-Ohio State week. But, I mean, this could...
And even more beautiful, some of the Michigan State respondents on the Twitter X machine to the allegations. Really, this is what disturbs you at Michigan State?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody sitting in the stands, videoing something, scouting. This is what bothers you at Michigan State? Yeah. That's too rich.
It sure is. It really is. So it's weird. But now, of course, all of the Twitter detectives and stuff, they're pulling up like videos from I forgot, they were either playing like Rutgers or Maryland, and during they were going to halftime and they grabbed the opposing coach for an interview while they were going into the tunnel, and they're like, Coach, this Michigan defense has really been playing well, and your offense is struggling to get anything going. What really needs to change at halftime to come out and put some points on the board? And I forget which school it was, but their head coach was like, well, there's just a lot of things that are going on right now, and there's a lot of things behind the scenes that they're just doing things wrong, and we're just going to have to play through it. And everyone's like, wow, they knew about it. I mean, they're seeing it. So I don't know.
How about this simple suggestion to said coach? Change your signals.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we always did in baseball. If we ever thought that someone had an idea of our signs, they just change them. I mean, it's
and so much of sports is transference. It's not that, a little bit like I said about Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
It was never him struggling in the postseason. No. It was never the Cardinals just with a good approach, or a week or so ago, the team that boxed him around with the Arizona that boxed him around. It's always something more nefarious. It wasn't really me. It was they got to me. That is such garbage. That's such a horrible way to live and exist. Is somebody's out to get me and somebody got me and it really wasn't my fault. I don't know how people really how they want to be guided by that.
Yeah, it's it's a weird way to live when you're always right. You never make any mistakes. It's always somebody else's fault, but you see a lot of it.
And here's another one, and I have said it for a while with great baseball analysts.
Okay.
And I think John Smoltz is among the very best ever.
Really
do you like listening to John Smoltz?
It's really good.
He is so good. But a lot of times, especially with former pitchers, every home run He missed a spot. It was a bad pitch.
Oh, Brett, that's my pet peeve in baseball is all
be batter hit the ball?
Announcers. It's every single announcer today is whenever there's a
right.
Yeah. Oh, we just missed a spot. No. We have great hitters in this game, and there is such a thing of a pitcher hitting a spot and throwing a pitch, and a batter just getting a hold of one.
Exactly, and the same. And for years I've gotten on Joey Votto. He never struck out looking that it wasn't a bad pitch or bad call.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
Never. Mm-hmm. He never struck out looking that he didn't grouse and moan and groan walking away. Yeah. Hey, sometimes they beat you. Sometimes batter that the very best that ever do it only do it 3 out of 10 times. He got you.
That's right. They're for some reason we've gotten away from there are really, really good pitchers. They're also really, really good hitters, and we forget that sometimes, especially when guys like Joey Votto and some of these great hitters or Clayton Kershaw, some of these best pitchers step up to the mound or step up to the plate. We just forget about it, and it's, they missed their spot, or, the ump missed that one. That was a ball. He shouldn't have been struck out on that one. I mean, and it's every single announcer.
And I say that with the proviso, if I flame out, I'm going to blame it on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think that's a good excuse. That might be the best excuse I've heard today in terms of the NCAA and baseball and anything. That really might be the best. Speaking of, you actually just segued me perfectly talking about the NCAA and the FBI. Another team that was involved in that, Louisville. Did you catch any of their exhibition last night against Simmons College?
I didn't.
Oh, Brett.
I took that time to get dumber reading the Bill Self story for you. I left it up to you to watch U of L last night.
And I think I got dumber. So I think maybe we both got dumber for each other,
Well, let's grow dumb together.
That's right. How about this, Brett? 10 turnovers in the first 10 minutes for Louisville last night against Simmons College. Easy to say it was their exhibition game because they did not look good. Now, they blew them out. But boy, those first 10 minutes looked very rough. And they're going to be a bad Louisville team. I'm just saying it right now. Very young, and they're going to be bad. Yeah,
hold. Everybody's young, or everybody's chemistry.
True.
Everybody.
Well, no. Young is in it's a bunch of freshmen and sophomore on the team. I mean,
they really are.
Yeah, they're
class-wise.
Yeah,
young.
I think out of the 12 scholarship players, I think 9 of them are classified as either a freshman or sophomore.
I don't think you win like that right now.
No.
I think you get your brains beat out that way now.
Yeah, and Kenny Payne. I mean, I really like Kenny Payne, but it already seems like he's starting to kind of make the excuses.
I forgive him from in the past.
Yeah.
At U of L.
Because I was reading a comment.
I don't forgive him for when he was an assistant at Kentucky.
How could you? I mean, you only get one forgiveness in terms of if you've been associated with Louisville and Kentucky with basketball.
Take one of them.
I mean, we got to take one, maybe not the
other.
other.
Here I am with transference.
Exactly. But I saw a quote from him yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, I see a lot of people talk about wanting to go old and using the transfer portal, but I don't think." Oh, here it is. This is from the coach. I read this yesterday from Kenny Payne. In order to build, you've got to have some young guys. I'm about developing players. Some say you need to get older, but I don't know how you build a program if everyone is a transfer. Look, I get what you're trying to say, Kenny Payne, but it sounds like you already know you're not going to be very good this year, and you're trying to put some sort of shield in front of you so that at the end of the season, when you're bottom 3 of the league,
11-21,
you can come back and say, well, we knew we were going to be bad this year. We were really young. We're building the program. So they are young.
When you get beat and you're out of the ACC tournament by 2:30 Central Time on Tuesday that week.
Yeah, no.
See how that works.
It's going to be, but they might be fun to watch. I mean, they're young, but they might be fun to watch. Tyler Johnson, who was a Memphis commit at one point, he's going to be their backup point guard.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go, Brett. Sky Clark, who played a little bit of his high school ball in Nashville, is there now. So I mean, they've got some player. They've got this massive freshman. He's like 7'1", 7'2". Dennis Evans, he's their center, very raw but very long and lengthy. So they might be fun to watch. I might bet on them a lot, probably against them a lot, and watch them, but I don't think they're going to do much winning, Brett. And that is my recap from last night's Louisville Simmons College. Hey, look, if I can find an edge,
very well done, Brian.
I've got to. I mean, I got to take an edge if I find it. So that is
very very well done with that summation last night of U of L against what team?
Simmons College, Brett. They are
Simmons College.
They are a
not Hardin Simmons, just Simmons College.
Just Simmons College, I believe. What did they say they were? They're not a they're not an NAIA school. They're like one ring under NAIA. It's like
where's that?
It's like the National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association or something like that.
Didn't know it existed.
Look, Brett. I didn't
But
either.
I wish them well.
I do wish them well, and I hope they have a great season in whatever
Certainly
league they're playing.
As anti-Christian.
Hey, good point, Brett.
I'm not a very good one, but I don't want to be anti one.
No, you got a good point there. So that's the NCCAA, the National Collegiate Christian Athletic Association. That's your talk about alphabet.
Bet they don't play on Sunday.
I'm almost guaranteed they probably don't play on Sunday.
Or Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Yeah, or Wednesday. You're right. So Tuesdays and Saturdays.
But wait, last night was Wednesday, so they did play.
Oh, man. Wow. Oh. We got to learn more about Simmons College. Yeah, that's exactly why they lost. So
no, and the easy comeback to Kenny Payne about getting players like that, he doesn't know, or he probably does know, everybody in the world is going to be poaching them after you've tried to develop them.
Oh, yeah. And that's the problem now is, as you know, if you want to be young and, quote, develop this program, like you just said, you have, let's say Tyler Johnson, who's committed to Memphis. If he goes out there and as a freshman backup point guard averages 10 and 5 or something like that, oh, here comes, X team saying, oh, we can take this guy and he can be a big player for us. So you're right. But, it's going to be
do you know, speaking of long 7-footer players like that, do you know who went to SEC Media Days representing Missouri?
Connor Vanover. Oh, Brett, Connor Vanover is a Missouri Tiger.
Including the Memphis Tigers as a commitment. Name the other places he also played.
I got this. Okay.
All right.
So he started. Oh my gosh. Okay. He was at Cal. He was at Berkeley.
Ding 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 ding. Cal. Berkeley.
He was at Arkansas.
Ding 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 ding.
Then he was at Oral Roberts.
Correct.
And now he's at Missouri.
What a career!
What a career! And almost picked Memphis over. Do you know what school everyone was mad about because it was his only other scholarship offer when he committed to Memphis?
Like Bellarmine or somebody?
Ouachita Baptist, Brett.
Ouachita Baptist, yeah, OBU, yeah.
Oh, I love Ouachita.
Dennis Nutt's head basketball coach.
That's right.
There, the youngest of the Nutt brothers.
That's right. No, so Connor Vanover, yeah, I did listen to Dennis Gates. I listened to his press conference last night, and I heard him talking about Connor Vanover. And one of the questions he got asked was, outside of Connor Vanover's height, what does he add to this roster? And I was like,
what
nice.
A question.
What a question. I mean, it's true, but I don't know if you want to ask the head coach that. So
it is true, and I missed. I don't know his parents well, but I know them a little.
Yeah.
His mom was a great player for Arkansas, late 80s, early 90s. My time frame's right. And I didn't like how he was getting knocked around when he was committed to Tubby Smith here. I thought it was some real cheap shots. Okay, I got way out there, way too far in my assessment of him when I said.
What was your assessment? I forgot.
In time.
Oh, no.
And we've had the time. I missed bad. I'm trying to think of who I can blame this on, like everybody wants to blame things on. But I'm not going to do that. I said in time, he will be, and I said type. T-Y-P-E, type.
Yeah.
Frank Kaminsky.
Frank the Tank. All right. Hey, look.
Okay, I missed.
Hey, Brett, you might have missed, but I will say this. He's turned out to be a decent college basketball. He's huge for Oral Roberts last year.
His height is the only thing.
You're right.
His height's the only thing that's TYPE of Frank Kaminsky type.
You are right. Well, let me set
I missed.
You missed, but hey, that's all right. That's all right. We'll get it next time. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30. Bill Bender from the Sporting News will join us to talk college football at 3:45. We'll talk some baseball as at that time we'll be getting ready for the first game of the day starting at about 4 o'clock between the Phillies and the D-backs. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show will join us to talk NBA. It will be our last time to talk talk to Keith before the start of the NBA regular season as that tips off on Tuesday. 4:30, we'll get into tonight's Thursday night football game, and then 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston will join us to talk Tigers. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Overstock Sale. Help us clear out their inventory at Family Leisure. Select patio sets up to 50% off. Play gyms under $2,000. Extended sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. The winter pool closing items are up to 30% off, and pool tables and game room items up to $700 on their in-stock items. They also have saunas, massage chairs, arcades, and theater seatings. All of those are free delivering, and the special financing is still available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
We are Sportstime. That's Brian. I'm Brett. Johnny Hill also with us. Please welcome Johnny as part of our team. Fine young man. We're glad to have Johnny as part of our team. You can reach us at 901-360-8255. This hour brought to you every day by the one and only Lexus dealership in town. Appropriately, Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2023 models and always special leasing options. 24s are arriving. Call them at 901-334-9673. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2023 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my top story, I've got to give them a shout out because this was really the first year I had really kind of started checking in and watching the WNBA. And last night, we crowned a new champion in the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces. And what a season they had. 34-6. To be honest, it wasn't even fair, some of the teams they were playing in the WNBA. They ended up only losing one postseason game, and that was in this final series against the New York Liberty. 34-6 in a professional league is unbelievable from top to bottom. Just all-stars around their lineup. So very fun. I know the WNBA, the NBA has done a great job trying to build that league up and put it on a bigger scale. And I know the same thing with ESPN, putting a lot of these games on ABC, on ESPN to kind of give them a bigger platform, which is really, really cool to see for any sport. But last night, the Las Vegas Aces, and not only did they win, but just the fact blows my mind, could have been a big number, that a professional team went 34-6 against other professional players. Just incredible to watch them. They were every night blowing out teams by 20, 30, 40 points. A great season for the Las Vegas Aces. And Darren Waller was also there. His wife was playing. Kelsey Plum was a winner last night, so we got to see Darren Waller there in attendance. Really fun to watch.
And it was a good story. And next year, the ownership group of the San Francisco Warriors, they have bought in to the WNBA well. So it is growing. And the NBA, they really played the long game, and it's working for them.
It really is.
Now with the WNBA. My top story, the Astros made it a series last night, we hope. But even in defeat, Texas stood up in that game. They didn't will. The pitching let them down. But they stayed right there in the game and sent a message. They're not going away. Houston's just so good on the road. Arizona, they have to win Game 3 at home, or it's only a matter of when, not if, for Philly. Back-to-back, if they win the LCS, back-to-back World Series appearances, back-to-back champions of the National League. That is significant. The Phillies won it all in 1980 and 2008. They've lost 6 World Series appearances in their history. Tonight, Suarez against Fat in about is it Fat or Fault? How does he pronounce it?
Fought, I think.
Like I fought the law and the law won?
Yeah, pretty much. That's at least what I've heard it from the D-backs radio broadcast.
Suarez against Fault in about an hour.
not top story of the day.
Well, I'm going to stick right there with Major League Baseball for my not top story of the day. Brett, last night we had Astros versus the Rangers. It was really a back against the wall game for the Astros. And Brett, we really kind of talked about pretty much what happened in that game. We said yesterday before we got off air that this could be a good opportunity for the Astros to really make something happen against Max Scherzer. He's just coming back from injury. Historically, he hasn't been great in the playoffs, and this just seemed like a good spot for the Astros with their backs against the wall, and they went out and did just that. Really kind of, especially in that second and third inning, started beating up Max Scherzer. Really in the first inning, too. I think they had bases loaded in the first inning, but then they were able to get out of it, and then in the second, third, fourth inning, really put on some runs. So a big win for the Astros, but like you said, 2 games today. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies, and he's been good. 1 start in the postseason, and he looked good in that. Not a great regular season. And on the other side, the young Brandon Pfaadt, 3-9 on the regular season with a 5.72 ERA. So maybe a lot of runs in this game. We've already seen that Phillies offense, and maybe that D-backs offense can wake up at home.
My not top story, don't forget Thursday night football, the NFL. The Jacksonville Jags at the Dome in New Orleans. You know it's already rocking around the Dome in New Orleans. It always is. Winners of 3 straight Jacksonville, 2 in London, 1 in Jacksonville, and a chance to get to 5-2. 5-2 will go a long way in that division. But remember this, it's a real long season. After tonight, 10 more games left for Jacksonville. It's really a long season, and for Jacksonville, with Trevor Lawrence, I think he's going to go tonight, and Travis Etienne, they have good weapons, and this will be 2 good defenses tonight. The Saints, they're a defensive team first, and tonight will be fun watching listening to Jags and Saints at the Dome.
That's right. Well, I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk college football with Bill Bender.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is Bill Bender, national college football writer for the Sporting News, and on Twitter X at Bill Bender. Here's Bill with Brian and Brett.
Bill Bender joining us now from the Sporting News to talk some college football. Bill, thanks so much for joining us again. And I want to start with kind of the newest breaking news from the NCAA. They're now investigating Michigan for stealing signs, supposedly sending employees, sending people to future opponents' games and stealing signs. What did you make of this story that dropped a few hours ago?
Not much yet. I mean, people are going to run with that, obviously. Of course. And it would be the second time they got in trouble in less than a year. I just think this is another story that a narrative I do buy is that the more this stuff happens, like it's going to push Jim Harbaugh to the NFL or try to get back into the NFL like he has the last 2 years. It's really interesting, though. I mean, stealing signs is not illegal. If the other team do their signs and you pick up on it, that's part of football. Now, If you're sending to other venues, that is prohibited, and that's where they could get in trouble.
Can a representative go to a game just go to a game and buy a ticket?
Well, that's what I don't like. Some of these are like gray areas, right? Like even if they did do that, I'd be like, okay, they're just watching a game. But I mean, obviously, people scout high school opponents all the time in person.
Sure.
Now in college, that's not allowed. So I think it's a vague rule. I mean, and if doing it, they should be punished. And what is that punishment? That's what it doesn't say. Is this, okay, we're going to suspend Harbaugh again? Are we going to, add this to the level 1 violations that haven't been resolved? I don't think it would result in forfeits, but, like when the Patriots, the Patriots comparison's apt because they didn't forfeit games, but they lost draft picks. So if you do get caught and it is proven, I wonder what the punishment would be. That's kind of my biggest question.
Bill, I assume you will be at Ohio Stadium Saturday?
I am. I'm finishing up all the stuff I need to get done. I'll be at the shoe early on Saturday morning. I'm sure it's a get there early type deal. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Do you think Penn State will bring a lot of fans, or as many as they can get tickets for?
Well, as many as they can get tickets for, yeah. They'll have a corner in the stadium. I think it's going to be such an interesting game because these teams are so similar. The defenses are really good. The quarterbacks have not made mistakes, whether it's Aller or McCord. And, the only group where there's like separation is receiver and tight end. I think Ohio State has elite receivers, tight ends, beginning with Marvin Harrison and Cade Stover, and Penn State's got some guys that are going to have to step up in that regard. So, it's a top 10 showdown, and it'd be the second one I've been at this year, so I'm really excited for it.
Wow.
This one, it's time for James Franklin to win this game, isn't it?
It is. They haven't done that since 2016. It's a really tough place to win. They haven't won there. They haven't won there since 2011. And so with all the build-up around the preseason expectations, and I talked to you guys throughout the summer and throughout the season, it's built toward this game. Penn State loses this game, I think that's the larger reaction than if Ohio State does. Because Ohio State still has – we've seen Ohio State lose a game and be back into the playoff. We've seen that. We haven't seen Penn State get in the 14 playoff, and I think that's an important step for this program to take.
Absolutely. Oh, well, going back to last week, Bill, USC and Notre Dame. Notre Dame really controlled that game and kind of dominated it. What did that tell you about both those teams, Notre Dame and USC, in the loss?
That Notre Dame probably wishes it scheduled somebody a little bit easier on the Louisville week because they probably could. The two-loss rule always applies to the college football playoff. I was impressed with their defense, impressed with them getting 5 turnovers, taking what USC gave them. It was a nightmare night for the Trojans and something to keep in mind as they go to the Big Ten. They better learn how to play in bad weather because they're going to get that at Purdue and at Minnesota and at Michigan. So that was one of my takeaways. They're not dead, but turn around to a pretty tough Utah game this week.
Yeah, that great USC Sports Information Office, they're going to have to be digging through some past programs and game notes because in the future, they're going to play in 3 or 4 or 5 coldest games they've ever played in.
Oh, yeah. And, Notre Dame brought it. And Notre Dame, what a stretch. I think kind of stretches will be rewarded more in the 12-team playoff, playing 4 straight ranked opponents. And as long as Notre Dame could finish 10-2 and probably go to a New Year's Day 6 bowl in this format. But in the new one, I think if you do that kind of run, the gauntlet that they just went through, that you'll definitely have a chance to make the college football playoff. So, yeah, that was my reaction from it. A little stunned at how organized and bad USC looked on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Including the line, yeah.
Talking to Bill Bender from The Sporting News, joins us every week to talk college football. Another big game this weekend, a top 25 matchup. Duke and Florida State, a night game, 6:30. The question is, Riley Leonard, will he be able to play for Duke? It sounds like they're trying everything they can to get him healthy enough to play in this game against Florida State. What do you expect in this one Saturday night?
You got to see if Riley Leonard plays. I don't think Florida State will blow out Duke either way. This Mike Elko coach team, they haven't lost by more than 10 points yet. Florida State's very good. They've gotten the running game going the last couple of weeks around Trey Benson. They had 200 yards a couple of weeks ago, controlled the lines of scrimmage against Syracuse pretty easily, a little easier than I thought it would be for them, honestly. So, yeah, they're definitely a very good team, and we're going to find out. For the ACC, I think there's a lot of pressure for its champion to stay unbeaten and stay at least with 1 loss because that'd probably be the easiest one to discard behind Oklahoma or Texas and whoever comes out of the Pac-12.
Bill, in this year of the quarterback, rank your top 1, 2, and 3 quarterbacks through up till now.
Well, I think obviously Michael Penix would be 1 for now. He has a signature win. Their offense is elite. They throw it around. He makes great decisions. 2 is tough. Probably still Caleb because I think even though he had a bad night, he's a guy that I don't know that you can't plan for him. It all went all well for Notre Dame, and then after him, pretty open. It could be Bo Nix. It probably is Jaden Daniels, honestly. he's putting up some wild numbers for LSU. And even though they lost a couple games, he would be in that mix. But then you go Jordan Travis, J.J. McCarthy, Shedeur Sanders, Bo Nix. There's a lot of guys that could still get into that mix, and that's why I think the Heisman Trophy is still pretty wide open.
Have we forgotten about Quinn Ewers?
I mean, he did have that signature game against Alabama, but, obviously Dylan Gabriel, I probably should have mentioned him. I mean, he's the one that stole the stage of Red River with the last drive and the great plays in the clutch and the all-around game, and he gets to play against his old school UCF. So, I mean, it's not so much we forgot about Quinn Ewers. I just think Dylan Gabriel and the Sooners, who are 6-0 and look very much the profile of a college football playoff team, have kind of taken that away from them a little bit.
Well, Georgia's off this week, but the big news earlier this week that Brock Bowers will be out for at least 4 to 6 weeks, I think the initial report said, and some thinking that his season could be over. We've seen that Georgia offense struggle at times. That Georgia team's really been banged up this season, but losing Brock Bowers, what does that mean for this Georgia team going forward?
I mean, obviously, it's a huge loss. He's arguably the best player in college football. He opens up everything for the rest of the offense. And, for Carson Beck, I want to see when they come out of the bye week. I mean, this is a tough stretch. Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Ole Miss. And I think the overall theme would be that maybe they're a little more gettable than with Bowers on the field. And we'll see if that plays out. So, yeah, it's a huge injury. I feel bad because I would argue that, I think I wrote last week that Brock Bowers had a Heisman Trophy case.
Oh, yeah.
And he is that kind of player, and they are going to have to count for it. But to your point, in some ways, was injured for Michigan last year, and it didn't matter against Ohio State or Purdue. Might have mattered a little bit against TCU, though.
Yeah.
In that year of the quarterback theme, got two really good ones with South Carolina playing at Mizzou, stretching from Columbia to Columbia, as the SEC does now. Spencer Rattler versus Brady Cook. That's two good quarterbacks that, I think are right there with the Duke and Florida State quarterbacks.
Yeah, they are. And Cook's having a great year. Luther Burden didn't make our midseason All-American team, but it's because we have Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, and Roma Dunze on it. Who do you leave off? I mean,
bunch of great receivers.
Really good receivers, 3 spots. And that's going to be a thing all the way down to the second half of the season. And Spencer Rattler's having a heck of a year. I mean, he's NFL ready, NFL caliber quarterback, going to get drafted, and we'll see. But I mean, the Gamecocks. I saw the SEC shorts this morning. I don't know if you guys saw that one with the South Carolina thing. That was pretty, I got a pretty good laugh out of that. Those guys do outstanding work over there.
They really do. Well,
they do. Bill, before we let you go, tell me your whole schedule for the day. What time will you wake up at home?
Oh, man.
Head to Columbus, get parked. Will you check out the tailgate scene, game day, big noon, everybody there? Give me Bill Bender's day Saturday.
Saturdays are long days anyway, but they're enjoyable because we only get 14 of them. I probably get there by like 7 and then, do a little bit of radio, walk around, check out the scene. And games like that, the scene in Columbus is second to none. So it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait. I think the weather right now, it's a little rainy. Hopefully it holds up, and you have one of those crisp, clear fall days that make Big Ten football beautiful. It's going to be a fun day.
Remember, Bill, I know you know this, seasoned veteran. Don't dress just for 7 a.m. because it's going to warm up.
Oh, I know. I know where the sun comes up in that stadium. It's right in our face typically in the press box.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun day. I can't wait.
Yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun. Well, Bill, enjoy that environment, enjoy that game, and thanks so much for joining us.
Sounds great.
Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you very much. Bill Bender with us from the Sporting News, and he's got a day Saturday as the whole country will be watching Penn State at Ohio State. We've got a great schedule all day Saturday. It starts with the Tigers here locally at 11 o'clock. You're going to have to pace yourself. You're going to be hungry all day. You're going to want to get out some, maybe get out and watch some of the games with people. Head to either commissary location. The new Collierville commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. Perfect for big groups. ribs, perfect for that Memphis-style barbecue done the Memphis way, the slow-cooked way. Bryant, do you realize 5 weeks from today, right now, we'll be going back for leftovers on Thanksgiving Day?
You're
5
kidding.
weeks.
Only 5
weeks. You need to get on that list right now for the holiday bird at the commissary. Call them at 901-754-5540 and put in that order now. It will go by quickly. You want to get in line early. You want to get in line now for the Christmas holidays as well. 901-754-5540 for the holiday bird at the commissary. That great food we've come to know and love so much over 42 plus years. And if you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary to 33733. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all the appetizers like the tamales, the barbecue nachos, the smoked chicken wings, the cheese plate, those nachos invented at the Germantown commissary in the early 80s, all the sides and the desserts like the lemon icebox pie, banana pudding. You get those as well as part of the holiday package. 901-754-5540 or go online to commissarybbq.com. In Collierville and Germantown, the party areas are great. The orders to go, the catering, the tailgating, and the holiday birds. You get it all. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk baseball. Postseason baseball still rolling right along. 2 games today and one about to start here in about 20 minutes or so. We'll get to all of that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Check. You might already know about the Acura MDX. V6 engine, seat 7. We have an announcement. We swapped that engine with a specially made 3-liter turbo V6, race-tuned the steering and suspension, and for the first time, added Type S performance to an SUV. So we're just gonna drop this right here. The Acura MDX and first ever MDX Type S. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Visit Acura of Memphis to learn more about the Acura MDX and the MDX Type S.
Kevin Kugler here from Westwood One. Join Mike Mayock and me this week for Thursday Night Football from New Orleans when the 3-3 Saints host the 4-2 Jaguars. Jacksonville is looking for their first ever win at the Superdome and hoping quarterback Trevor Lawrence will be back and healthy after last week's knee injury. Don't miss any of the action of the Jags at the Saints on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed, when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. Hey, in New York, right now I'm looking at all of the unders for Jets offensive numbers. Passing yards, touchdowns, receiving yards. I'm looking at all of the unders in New York. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win, FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And baseball playoffs. We've got a 2-0 series. We've got a 2-1 series. Phillies up 2-0. They're about to get started here in just a couple of minutes. Right at the top of the hour in the Game 3 in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. Later tonight, we'll have Game 4 between the Astros and the Rangers. The Rangers up 2-1. Had an opportunity to go up 3-0 last night, but we talked about it a little bit earlier. Astros just got all over the Rangers early. And
proud team.
Absolutely. And really give the Rangers a little bit of credit because they tried to fight back. And,
they fought.
And they made it a little bit of a game there late. But ultimately, the Astros just too much for the Rangers. So looking at these two games today, Brett, what do you expect to see out of these two?
I think Arizona's going to fight. I think they probably get this one today, and if they don't, it's effectively over. You know, the crowd, it is great. I think I say this about every baseball analyst on TV.
Okay.
I just love Pedro Martinez.
Oh, man. Oh, Pedro's so good. He is so good.
His stuff, 98, 99, 2000, was as lights out as any stuff ever. I mean, it was just so nasty, and he was great. He was colorful, and you have to turn your contrast down on your TV when it pops up, because it's a pink tie that only Rob Fisher could appreciate.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I told you about Rob's pink jacket that he was rocking yesterday, or at Game 1 of the preseason. But no, you're right. I'm starting to think I might be like you. I think I just love baseball so much that all of these, pre-game, post-game, I just love them all. I think they all do a great job.
And now that all the analysts, I mean, it feels like they played 5 minutes ago. I mean, I saw every pitch of all of them. All of John Smoltz, all of Pedro, all of Poppy, all of Jeter, all of A-Rod. I even like true. A-Rod.
Well, that's
I know.
That's
that
you, Brett.
Puts me.
How about this? I'm just seeing this on Twitter. Supposedly, Philly fans are trying to buy tickets. This was earlier today, obviously. Philly fans are trying to buy tickets for Game 3 of the NLCS tonight in Arizona with no intention of going to try to keep the stadium empty. And there are screenshots of a couple of Phillies fans. This is one. Good morning to everyone except for Arizona. I just bought 14 tickets for Game 3 in Arizona to assure that there will be 14 less loser Diamondback fans. If there are any Philly fans out there in AZ that need tickets, shoot me a DM, no charge. We'll accept a donation if you feel so obliged. Then another person, I just bought 20 tickets to Arizona tomorrow because I won't go, but I just don't want it to be filled up with D-back fans. So how about that? I mean, that's a new tactic.
You got to appreciate the Philadelphia fan. They're staying very on brand.
Yeah,
how did they get so sore at Arizona fans?
I don't know. I guess you play them and everybody's against them. I mean, D-backs are just happy they're here. I mean,
what would they do to rile people up?
It's great. I just hope now that when I'm watching the game, I just see like a row that just has like nobody sitting there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the 14 tickets that my Phillies fan bought.
That's kind of the anti in the old days to waive the blackout rule.
Yeah.
On TV.
That's right.
We had to have a sellout to lift blackout rules.
Yeah.
Wow, Philly fans,
one of a kind.
do something.
One of a
They
kind.
are.
It's beautiful.
And I'm telling you, starting next year in the postseason, other cities, you better try to match that.
Oh,
you better try to match Philadelphia.
No, Brett, they not even just this year, last year too, they have set a tone of what you should have at your games.
They did in 08 and 09.
You're right.
In the back-to-back World Series
You're
years.
absolutely right. But, Brett, think about the difference between the Phillies that for the past 2 years have just gotten in as a wild card and the fan support there, and then down to Tampa Bay. That was at the beginning of the season, can't miss, great team, stars all around.
Boy, that's a great comparison.
And what they drew.
North Pole, South Pole.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And they're about to build a new stadium in Tampa Bay for them. I mean, it is stark to if I pulled up a picture of both of those next to each other, it would be incredible to view the differences. But two great games, one starting in just a couple of minutes at the top of the hour. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk NBA with Keith Smith.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Oh, come on, it's funny.
Can't do it.
Trick or treat, here's some meat.
Seriously, the Central Barbecue spot for October has been about Halloween for like 5 straight years.
Look, you've done the ladling Central Barbecue beans into their bag thing.
Yeah, I got in trouble both times. They didn't like the phrase ladling beans into their bag.
Well, what else happens in October? Hey, I tell you what, do they do any pumpkin spice stuff?
God, no.
That's good. I'm tapped for anything else for October. How about just a straight spot about how great the food is at Central Barbecue?
What, like Central Barbecue has the best slow-smoked ribs in Memphis?
Yeah, something like that.
Too boring.
It doesn't matter, we're out of time anyway.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678-6055, MSRP 21,610, Nero P501-7859, MSRP 41,090, EV6 P501-7859, MSRP 49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $29.99 due at signing. I've got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 due at signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Pizza lovers and sports fanatics, Ferraro's Pizzeria is your Sunday ticket headquarters. Catch every pro game on multiple big screen TVs while enjoying $2 beers, $9 beer buckets, and mouth-watering pizza. We're talking the cheesiest, most delicious New York pizzas in town with all your favorite toppings. What are you waiting for? Grab your family and friends and get to Ferraro's, corner of Jackson and Main, just east of the Pyramid. Enjoy every pro game at Ferraro's Pizzeria and Cheesy Corner, your game day destination.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York.
but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith joining us from Spot Track, also the Front Office Show, to talk the NBA. And Keith, we're less than a week away. This is the last time we'll talk to you before regular season action starts, so I'm really excited. But we've gotten through a lot of the preseason games. Has anything really jumped out at you from any of these preseason games that you think will really impact a team in the regular season?
It's hard. I try not to get too deep into what we're seeing in preseason, but I do think one thing that was really interesting is San Antonio is apparently committed to they're going to play a very big lineup to open games. It sounds like they're going to start Jeremy Sohan at the point, which means they're going to go Sohan, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama, and Zach Collins, and that jumped out to me because I don't know that we've seen many NBA lineups that have been bigger across the board than that one.
And Keith Bryant, he really did. He led it off perfectly. This is the last weekend until the NBA Finals that we won't be talking with you about action heading into the weekend. And the next time we talk to you, Tuesday and Wednesday night games will have been played.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we're there now. Teams are putting the final touches on their rosters here. You're seeing. I wrote about this on Spot Track. If anybody wants to check it out, you can find it on my Twitter X timeline. You can find the link to the article. But teams are signing and waiving guys left and right, and that's mostly about lining guys up for the G League. Memphis has done that quite a bit with getting guys set to be there for the hustle. But yeah, that's what we're seeing right now is final touches on rosters. We saw Houston and OKC make a trade that was mostly about moving some salary around and the like, but we're getting down to it now, and we're about there.
Keith, last night I saw a lot of people overreacting. I shouldn't say overreacting. A lot of people excited to see Jordan Poole score 41 points in the preseason win over the Knicks. When you look at this Washington team, what do you expect from them this year? And with Jordan Poole coming over from Golden State, what kind of opportunity will this be for him? Maybe a more limited opportunity in Golden State. What kind of freedoms will he have, I guess, as a shooter in Washington?
Yeah, for the team, they're going to be bad. They just don't. They're not set up to be a very good team. So I think what we may see is them, be competitive early on, and then we'll kind of see as it goes into the season. I think you'll see them, as I always put it, reprioritize where they're at and start to look at ping pong balls. But for Jordan Poole individually, I think he's got a chance to put up some numbers, right? There's not a lot between him and Kyle Kuzma that's going to keep them from shooting the ball and shooting it quite often. So I think you're going to see that be something we see, with regularity with the two of them. And as long as Jordan Poole can get back to doing it efficiently, I think all of a sudden we'll see a guy where it's like, all right, this is the guy we all kind of liked before with the Warriors, before things kind of went sideways for him there to wrap up his tenure there.
Yeah, Keith, I think everybody kind of has the same top of the East. Where do you have the Knicks finishing?
Somewhere right around 4th, 5th, right around that home court advantage line. Feels about right for them. I think, I've got Boston and Milwaukee at the top by themselves. And they've got the Knicks and the Cavs kind of in that next window of teams. I think they have a chance at, being fairly similar as far as record goes. I think we're going to see them, both be good, solid teams. But I think the Cavs are probably slightly better than the Knicks are. But the Knicks are going to be good. They, offensively, they were really good a year ago. And, defensively, they're going to, they're going to play hard and defend. I think they've got pretty good depth. I think they're going to be a tough team.
And it's going to be fun to watch to see if the East, if it's better or at least comparable to the West. So you have Boston and Philadelphia and Milwaukee, or Boston, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia at or near the top. Where do you have Miami?
Yeah, I don't have Philadelphia near the top at all. I don't think they're
I'm sorry.
I don't think they're going to be anywhere near what they've been the past couple of years, because they're either not going to have James Harden, or they're just going to be, James Harden's going to be there but not playing, and they're going to be a mess. So I'm not big on Philadelphia by any means. Miami, I think Miami, when all is said and done, will be really good, and they'll be competitive, and they'll be, fighting, especially once we get to the playoffs. I'm just not sure how much they're going to care in the regular season to try and be, a team that really pushes, too hard in the regular season. I think that, knocks them down a little bit as far as the regular season standings go. But I think, when it all matters, we'll see them certainly in the mix come postseason time.
Well, Keith, you kind of just mentioned it with James Harden, but kind of the latest news we've heard about him, he missed practice kind of unannounced yesterday, and the 76ers said they're going to give him an opportunity to kind of give his reasoning for missing it before they hand down a punishment. But we also got reports that they're still in trade conversations with L.A. On trying to get a deal done. What have you heard on this situation, and what do you make of these kind of latest rumors?
Yeah, the things I've heard with them, with the whole Harden not being there stuff, is mostly around they are trying to kind of play it cool here and not cause any real issues until, maybe issues need to be caused. But I think with the sense of Harden in the trade talks with the Clippers are holding firm. They're basically saying, you have no other suitors, so we're not going to throw in a second unprotected pick and Terrence Mann. Like, we know we not only do we have the best offer, we believe we have the only offer that you have. And Philly is saying it's just not enough for us. There's also credible reporting, and I've heard some of the similar, that Philadelphia has secondary deals lined up where they believe, all right, well, we can move other players or these picks to try to make another, acquisition. But we're kind of running out of time. Like we just talked about, we're under a week till the regular season starts. So we're at a point where it's kind of, if you're making big moves, you better make them and get them done, because otherwise nobody wants to be messing with their roster that much, right on the eve of the season.
Let's look at the West and get down to the nitty-gritty. First, win total for the Grizzlies, and ultimately what will that translate into seed? And then for the rest of the West, somebody's got to finish 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and be in those play-in games. How do you have the West in your preseason forecast?
Yeah, for the Grizzlies part of it, I think they're going to be okay, even without Ja Morant for the first third of the season, those 25 games. I think, Marcus Smart being there, that'll obviously, be solid for them, and they'll be ready to go. with him, and I think Desmond Bain is going to show everybody just how good he is. Somehow, there's still people sleeping on him and not understanding why he got the contract he got because, he is really terrific. And then, you've got enough other guys there, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams and some other players who've been around that they're going to stay, afloat. So I think top half of the conference for them for sure. Top half of the playoff picture, rather. I think they'll be, third, fourth seed in the conference again, because part of that is they're, for me, the best team in the division by a pretty good margin too, or at least the team I trust the most in the division. So I think they're going to really do well with that. The rest of the conference, it's a bloodbath. You could take, in my opinion, San Antonio, Houston, and now they're slipping my mind, Portland out of the mix for the playoffs, and you could tell me the other 12 teams that they'll be playoff teams, and I'm not going to fight and argue with you too much about that. When I was kind of starting to slot together wins, I had about a team in third around 48 wins, and then all the way down, to the 12th team at about 38 wins. So that's a 10-win difference between 10 slots in the standings, and that's really shows to the depth of the conference.
Keith, when you look at a team like Oklahoma City, we know a lot of young pieces, but a lot of people thinking that this year they can make that jump. They were in the play-ins last year. Do you think that they can – you talk about how tough this West is, but with the talent they have, do you think they can make that jump this year and be a team that doesn't need to be in the play-in to make the playoffs?
I think they can. I think a lot of people might be a year too early on the Thunder.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to be wrong on that. I think we're really in a spot with Oklahoma City where I like, the way everything's kind of coming together for them. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a star. Jalen Williams, the wing one, is headed that way. And I think Chet Holmgren's going to be kind of that final piece for that group that really just now everything fits and it all makes sense. But they need another year of growth. I think another year of playing, high-level games, meaningful games deep into the season. But it wouldn't surprise me if they were in the top six and in the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me if they were in the play-in either. The only thing I guess that would surprise me was if they either won the conference in the regular season or if they were completely out of it and nowhere near the play-in tournament. Any other result, I think I could see that with them.
Another team in the West that I know a lot of people are excited about this year, the Sacramento Kings, after what they did last year, kind of putting all of those pieces together and getting a third seed in the playoffs. What do you expect from them this year? Do you expect them to continue to build on what they did last year?
Yeah, the Kings are in an interesting spot. We could see the Kings be a team that is just as good as they were a year ago, but have a worse record and slide down in the standings just because some of these other teams are better. But I still think they're going to be in the mix. I think they're going to be a good team. Their offense is simply too good to slip too far in the regular season. For them to really fall way down in the standings, it would have to be a situation where they have too many injuries and they just can't overcome them. The defense is ultimately what will hold them back when we get to the playoffs. But that's a different story. So I think in the regular season, they're going to win a ton of games. They're going to play really fun style. They're going to be tough on guys every night because they play hard and they can score a lot of points. They just don't always put it together on defense, but that's more than enough to win a whole bunch of regular season games.
Keith, I think it's more fun picking the play-in team, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in both conferences than it is picking the top because, most people kind of have settled in at the top, even though we can miss. And Sacramento provided a good example of this last year. I don't know of anybody that had Sacramento last year. If you did, congratulations. I didn't, and they got in there easily. It's fun to try to find that breakthrough team, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And it's also fun at this point in the year because this is I like to call this is the last little bit of the season of hope, right? Where everybody's like, I think we could be pretty good, right? And if everybody's kind of buying in, which is fun, right? And we love that part of it. I love the optimism and everybody's ready to go. And then, you get a couple weeks into the season with a couple of these teams and they're like, all right, so we're still building this thing up. But you're absolutely right. That's one of the things that makes this fun is, when you can be on a team, maybe a year earlier than anybody else was, or you're really like, I've been kind of beating the drum for these guys all year long. And that's kind of where I feel for me, there's two teams, they're both in the East, but I think the Indiana Pacers and Orlando Magic are really ready to take big steps forward and push to be, real playoff teams. If not, I think they're going to be play-in tournament teams. In the West, it's just a little harder to crack through because of the depth of the conference that we talked about.
I'm with you on both of those in the East, but I also somehow want to get Detroit in there. I may be a year too soon. In the West, who is that team for you?
I don't know that I really have one. I think it's the teams we've talked about already. I think could be there. I think if New Orleans can find a way to get and keep their guys on the floor, I think we're going to see them put together a really nice season at the end of the day. And I think we've kind of maybe forgotten a little bit that team was leading the conference for a long time before injuries really just made everything fall apart for them. So I think, they have a chance to really be that team that goes from, all right, well, they're kind of a cute playing team to being, all right, wow, they're a real team here that we need to think about. But I don't have a ton of faith that that's going to happen because I just don't know that they're going to get and stay healthy. But I think the rest of the teams, I think it's more about, all right, which team might fall out or, like we talked about, we might be a little early on Oklahoma City. I think a lot of people are a little too high on the Utah Jazz. I think they're going to be tough. I think they're going to be super competitive. I just don't know that I see them breaking through to be a playoff team this year. And then I feel very confident that Houston, San Antonio, Portland, they're just not there, even if they're going to be headed in the right direction. And especially in Houston, I think the nights of 25 turnovers and 30-point losses are going to be very few and far between instead of a regular occurrence. I think they're going to play a lot better. I just don't think they're ready to win quite yet.
Talking to Keith Smith from Spotrac and the Front Office Show. Keith, Commissioner Adam Silver was on First Take yesterday with Stephen A. Smith and had this quote, maybe a return, or in talking about the All-Star game, I should say, maybe a return to something more traditional in terms of how the teams are presented. We went sort of captain and draft notion, but clearly historically it was East versus West, so that's something we're looking at, maybe a bit of breaking news. What have you thought about the last couple of years, this kind of draft captain format and the idea of the NBA going back to East versus West for All-Star games?
Yeah, I thought the whole idea was fun. And for me, the All-Star game should be fun.
Absolutely.
I don't get too caught up in the folks who say, they don't. It's not competitive enough, and it's not even a real game. Well, yeah, no one wants to get hurt in a game that doesn't mean anything. So that part I don't understand, where we kind of lost the plot on that. And then maybe, long before I started watching, those games were competitive. But the games in the 80s and 90s that I grew up on, it's not like they were exactly out there, clotheslining dudes in all-star games either. It's always been, hey, you play it out, and then if it's close in the last 5 minutes, all right, we're going to get after it, and we'll try to win. So I think the league's going to keep trying. But for me, the game is the worst part of the weekend. I, really don't care too much about the game itself. I usually have it on kind of while I do other stuff because, it's become the least interesting part of it. So I get it where the league is going to keep doing what they can to try to drag that interest back into the All-Star game because they do want people, to watch it and to consume it and to care. But I think they're really in a spot where it's just, you got to do a lot of work because right now no one gives a crap about that thing.
Yeah, I agree, and they are trying to make it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday's probably the least compelling, but at least they're trying. You do have to give so much credit, and we do, and you sure do as well, to Adam Silver, to the league office. When they tinker, it doesn't feel like they're losing their mind like when baseball tinkers.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen some people say they need to make the All-Star game like it is in baseball, where it determines home field, or in the NBA case, home court advantage. And I'm like, no, we don't.
No.
Like, we play an 82-game season for a reason. Like, how, if we're, you want to talk about devaluing the regular season games even more, like, in the end of the day, as long, all I say in the All-Star game is, give me some fun highlights and nobody gets hurt. And we had a successful All-Star game. But, yeah, I applaud the NBA, whether it's the play-in tournament, the new in-season tournament, doing what they can with this ref stuff. I know we talked about it. It's all worth trying to get a better product on the floor and give the fans, a little something better to watch tonight.
All right, come June, who do you got in the finals? Who do you have winning it?
You call it a homer pick, but I think it's finally time for the Celtics to break through. And I know they got there a couple years ago, but I've got them getting there, and I think Denver's going to get back. Their starting five is so rock solid and complements each other so well. And now on top of that, they know what it takes to get there. I think that's a thing that we often overlook is the team having that experience. So I think Denver's going to get back, and I think they're going to play Boston in the finals. And I do think Boston is built to come home with this. And I will say, the Celtics don't get to the finals, we're going to see even more changes coming there. They started them this year, and I think but that top six in Boston, that's as good as any top six that I can remember as far as being there. I think they're all ready to make the necessary sacrifices to do what they got to do to win. I think it's the Celtics' time.
I like that pick. Last thing for you, Keith, before we let you go, I was reading a story in The Athletic earlier this morning, and they were talking about some of their breakout players that could be breakout players in the NBA this year, and one player was Quentin Grimes for the Knicks. And when you look back at these last 2 years for Quentin Grimes really took a step up last year, getting a lot more playing time, and now this year 3 for him coming in, he'll be a starter for the Knicks. What do you expect from a young guy like Quentin Grimes in New York?
Yeah, he's a good player. I think he really worked on his shot. His release has sped up quite a bit. And sometimes when guys do that, you have to watch the efficiency, but it looks like he's still knocking them down. So I think Quentin Grimes is going to be really tough for the Knicks. I think he's making strides offensively. He's already a really good defender, pretty good playmaker for what the Knicks need him to be. I think he's a big part of what they're doing, and that's a deep, fun guard wing group there in New York. There's a lot of guys who can play, and Tom Thibodeau has a lot of mix and match options, but Grimes is going to be a big, big part of things.
Well, we're really excited for the start of the NBA season, and it'll be here before we know it. Tuesday opening day here in Memphis. We'll get the first game for the Grizzlies on Wednesday. But Keith, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you very much. Keith Smith with us, and when we talk to him next week, I think 12 or 13 games on Wednesday, two on Tuesday night. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they're just
night.
doing the kind of like two showcase games to start the season.
And a lot of times this has been the week the NBA has opened since we've had a team, and next week we're really excited about it. We'll make all of our predictions next Wednesday afternoon at 5:30. East, West, MVP, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, the seedings, where the Grizzlies win total, where the Grizzlies fall out. We'll do all of that next Wednesday leading up to the Grizzlies tipping off next Wednesday night. But I like where Keith had the Grizzlies. He's very optimistic. He's very bullish.
Yeah, no, I really like that. Hey, and if they can, with kind of Ja missing the first 25 games, if they can be top 3, top 4, I think that's a very successful season.
Very successful. I would take kind of 4 seed with missing 25 games from Ja right now. Just get us to playoff time. And Keith mentioned it. When you run through your picks in the East, if you try to be too daring with somebody, you can get really burned. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a good team or two left out of the East playoffs. The East may be as stacked as the West.
Oh, it's really starting to get that way. I mean, you look at some of these younger teams that have had to go through it and kind of build through the draft, and you're starting to see them coming together. I know a team he's very high on, he mentioned it earlier, the Magic. I mean, they're one of those teams that is going to be competitive every single night and has a lot of young guys have had to build it through the draft over the years. So
you want to take Detroit too, don't you?
I do. I love this Detroit team. I mean, they've got so many young, fun players.
Yeah. Just barely getting in.
I mean, look, I've heard a lot of people say Cade Cunningham coming back from this injury, they feel like they can't buy in on the Pistons yet, but if he has a big start to the season, they might be ready to buy in, and I'm right there with them.
Yeah, we shall see. I know this. We're so proud to have Sissy's Log Cabin with us. They're the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are proud of that association as well, and they're also a big supporter of Tigers athletics, official jeweler of the Memphis Tigers, and they're sponsor of our look back at the weekend in the SEC that we have every Monday at 4:30. That new location opening soon, real soon, just a few weeks away at 4542 Poplar. Bill Jones and his great team here to stay. Some blow in, blow out overnight, and then gone. Not Sissy's Log Cabin. They're part of the community like they have been everywhere they've been since 1970 with all the locations across Arkansas and Tennessee. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, rings, necklaces, and earrings. 9,000 square foot store in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and much, much more. They offer a selection of diamonds and estate jewelry and fine gifts, and so proud of the association with the Tigers and the Grizzlies and the home team's official jeweler for the Grizzlies and the Tigers, and FedEx Forum with floor seat lounge. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary experience because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Let's go ahead and get to a break because when we come back, we've got to preview the Thursday night football game. It's going to be on Prime Video, but you can also listen to it right here on Sports 56. Jaguars at Saints tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll preview that game next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
I'm with John Virgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's starting to build pretty good over here on 240 East, passing 385 as you continue up towards Poplar on 240, again going eastbound all the way up to Walnut Grove. It's busy, no surprise. Over here on this other side of town on 40 at Warford, coming past Hollywood as that traffic increases south of Memphis on 55 down through DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry, they're located 7525 Highway 64. They are your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett in our Family Leisure studios, and Thursday night football tonight. We're only a couple hours away, and text us in. Let us know what you think happens tonight between the Jaguars and the Saints. Text in 901-360-8255. Let us know what you think. You can hear that game tonight on Sports 56. That action starting at 7 o'clock, right when we're done with Reb Talk. Let me tell you about the rest of our weekend here on Sports 56. On Saturday, we'll have complete coverage of Ole Miss at Auburn, that pregame starting at 4 p.m. Sunday, we've got a triple header for you. Bills at Patriots at noon, Chargers at Chiefs at 3 p.m., and then we'll wrap it up with the Sunday night football game between the Dolphins and the Eagles. Monday night, we've also got you covered for Monday Night Football. 49ers at Vikings. All right, Brett, the biggest story going into this game, will he or won't he? Trevor Lawrence, will he play tonight? He's at the stadium. It's looking like all reports are he's going to give it a go, and he's going to start for the Jaguars. How big is that for this Jacksonville team tonight?
Well, it's big for them, and with all that they've done with the travel and then now the injury, and they're not open next week. They've got a tough game next week. I think they're at Pittsburgh next week.
I think you're
right. So a tough game for them. But this is a spot for, as I did back in the Not Top Story today, this is a spot for them to have a little separation in that division. 9 could win this division. 10 sure can.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. So, I mean, this is going to be a game I know earlier this week when it was really unclear if Trevor Lawrence would play in this game. I mean, this spread was a 1-point spread. I mean, this game, I think everyone looking at it, if Trevor Lawrence can't play or if he is not fully 100%, that this game could easily be flipped to the Saints. But you're right. I mean, you look at what they have coming up, being the Jaguars. This game tonight against the Saints, next week, like you said, against the Steelers, then they have an off week, but then have to see the 49ers. Now, it is a home game, but you got to see those 49ers, so it's not easy the next couple of weeks. And I think if you're the Jaguars going into that kind of 3-week stretch after this game, you really want to win tonight.
Yeah, this is one that you can put in the bank and have a little leeway. Now, help me. At Pittsburgh or home against Pittsburgh? I knew it was Pittsburgh. I just didn't know where next week.
It is at Pittsburgh. It's in Pittsburgh next week.
Okay. So road, open San Francisco. This is the spot. This is the buy opportunity tonight on a Thursday night against New Orleans. A good to great New Orleans defense, though.
It really is. Really is. When you talk about kind of those the top defenses in the NFL, you bring up this Saints defense. And so it's going to be tough, especially with a banged-up Trevor Lawrence back there. But like you said, this is a game I think you have to go win, even though it's on the road. And you can't take any of these teams for granted, especially on the road. But, I mean, with what you've got coming up and then a couple division games after you host the 49ers, this is a spot you got to go in and you got to win, and we'll see what this offense can look like.
And should be fun. I will listen to a lot of this one. I won't say best Thursday night matchup, but the stakes are getting bigger. This is a good one, though.
It is.
And I love a game, especially a standalone, kind of a Monday night, Sunday night game at the Dome in the Sean Payton, Drew Brees years. Now, they were great in those years and got their title. It was one of the decided home field advantages in all of sport. That funky, fun New Orleans vibe. I mean, you could really get into a game there. I don't know if they've lost it completely, but it's been muted a shade.
Yes, I think you're right. I think it has to a degree, but I think it's still there for sure. Just maybe not fully.
Maybe not fully, maybe not like it was, but the teams aren't. The team's not as good as it was.
No, you're right about that. It just isn't. But this will really start us for the weekend, and a weekend where there's a lot of unknown. I mean, you look around, Trevor Lawrence, only one of kind of a lot of key players that are questionable this weekend and really uncertain if they'll play or not. We heard earlier today Jimmy Garoppolo won't play against the Bears, who we know Justin Fields won't be playing in that one. So, there's a lot of injuries around, and we're kind of getting a little bit of clarity on some of those guys, but it could be a week where a lot of these teams, especially the 49ers, are without some very key players.
Yeah, and the 49ers are still getting poked at by Micah Parsons and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Look, Micah Parsons, great player. Maybe the best player, maybe the MVP of the league.
It could
right
be.
now.
It really could be.
He could be. Not defensive, MVP of the league. Don't pick at the Eagles. They were in the Super Bowl last year. Don't pick at the 49ers. They beat you 42-10. Mm-hmm. Find somebody else to pick at. Worry about the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. And now, Bryant, we're almost set up on kind of default of Cowboys play on Sunday. Is it Monday or Tuesday morning that Jerry does his radio rounds in the Dallas market?
I think it's Tuesday.
It's one or the other.
I believe it's Tuesday.
That he kind of does open mic night with Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're waiting for Micah Parsons' podcast for something else.
Well, I mean, we are.
It's too much noise with the Cowboys that's not concerning winning ball games.
You're right. You're definitely right about that. I mean, this is a franchise that is considered one of the known brands in America, not just in the NFL. But you're right. When you look at kind of ownership down, there's a lot of talking going on.
Did you see the spirited debate this morning with Stephen A. and crew?
I did not know.
And I love Stephen A. Even when I disagree, I love Stephen A. And I love the passion that he brings to it, and the humor relief. He's fun. He's entertaining. This should be fun and entertaining. But he said, it goes with that star on the side of your helmet, Micah Parsons. You're going to get that.
You are.
And he didn't name names, but you're not getting that. You're not getting that in Seattle.
No, not at all.
You're not getting that in Tampa unless Tom Brady's there.
Right.
You're not getting it in Jacksonville. You're not getting it in New Orleans.
No.
That star brings a lot of stuff.
It does. It does. And oh man, yeah, we're seeing that Micah Parsons is likes to take it to the podcast and starting to be, I said it yesterday, like Draymond Green, and where right after a game he's going to run and record a podcast.
And fine, people can do what they want to, but I'll say again, and you used that example yesterday, and you're not wrong. He's doing that. So I'm not trying to dig in on you. Draymond did it after titles,
that is true.
After rings on fingers.
But I think you do that if you're Draymond. I think it kind of sets as a player, I can do this. I can have this out as a podcast,
and I'm fine with
that.
And
you're going to see
that liberation.
I think you're going to see a lot more of it. And I'm not even saying it's a bad thing.
Have you seen Micah Parsons set up?
Oh yeah, it's really nice.
Which, of course, he can afford. He can do anything he wants.
Yeah.
He could buy this and about 10 more radio stations if he wanted to. Man, that setup, the lighting on it is high level soundstage movie lighting.
I can't remember. I would have to ask my brother, but I think
my lighting's not quite that good from High Top Roach Lane in Broadway.
But I think before he started doing podcasting, I think he would, especially in the off season, he'd get on and get on these sites that you can play video games and stream it to people like Twitch and stuff like that. And I think he had a pretty good following of people that would log on and watch him game and do that sort of thing. So I'm sure that setup has been there for a couple of years, and now you decide I can just turn this into like an at-home podcast studio. So
and good for him.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Look, you got to bring opinion. I just think with telling the 49ers we're going to get you next time. I'm not much on next time when you just had that time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Brett,
that's a little studio wrestling for me. I'll see you Monday night. Well, you just had me here on Saturday.
I love that. Yeah, so here's a text about Micah Parsons that describes the NFL. They have become actors looking to make highlights on TikTok. Competition is a lesser priority. You are seeing a lot of players be more vocal and stuff, and we are seeing that with the rise of social media. And I said this, I remember saying this a couple years ago,
and I don't mind.
No.
I don't mind the liberation. I don't mind the player. At least with this, and I think the texture would agree with this. At least with his podcast, there's no hiding around. Well, I was misquoted.
Right. Oh, that's true. Everything's on the record at that point. I said this a couple years ago, and I think it's even true with podcast and TikTok, like the texter brought up. But this is more of a terms of like generation. We're starting to see young players that grew up that are my age, that grew up in middle school, Instagram's coming out, and all of these social media is taking over a generation, and we're starting to see those players becoming professional athletes, and that's just what they grew up with, and social media became a big part. So when you're seeing Micah Parsons do a podcast, when you're seeing Kevin Durant on Twitter going after fans and disagreeing with fans and stuff, I think that's more of a generational thing of these guys just kind of came up with social media being a big thing and being a professional player. They're not changing the way they're going to act online, and so I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
Only thing I would tell him, Micah Parsons, I know he knows this. It's tough enough sport without you writing a check on Tuesday night on your podcast. You can't cash on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that. But we'll see what more we get out of Micah Parsons in the next couple of weeks. Because like you said, it's become the headlines. I mean, you're seeing pretty much everywhere you look, people are talking about what Micah Parsons said on his latest podcast. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll get to Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, Chevy truck season, it's here. And if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevrolet, right here in Olive Branch has deals that are spot on to save you money. And let's be real, your good credit deserves it. Financing as low as $0. No payment for 90 days. That could be next year. Plus, you get $1,000 in cash, and All-Star has all the Silverados. Fall road trips, tailgating, Thanksgiving, Christmas, timing could not be better. So come to Olive Branch and drive a new Tahoe or Traverse. And if it's a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned you want, All-Star is loaded up. Camaro convertibles, Suburbans, Lexuses. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he will find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin told me to thank all of you who are bringing your cars and trucks here to sell. You could get a check today for some crazy good money. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or Carterville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
I'm with John Virgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right, Brett, I'm excited for my big number today. We are going to we're going to go with our big number being 30 and a half, 30.5, if you will. Historic low, this is a tweet from Brett McMurphy. Historic low, over-under total for Minnesota at Iowa is now down to 30 and a half, the lowest in college football in the past 20 years, surpassing two previous Iowa games in 2022. Those games had totals of 31 and a half points. Iowa and Kentucky. Iowa won that game 21-0, so that one went over and it went under. And Iowa, Minnesota, which Iowa won 13-10, also went under. So a historic low, a total so low that we haven't seen in 20 years, and it went lower than the two games that tied for the record that also involved Iowa. So how about that? Shout out to Iowa.
That's a good number. Remind me tomorrow to ask Bruce Marshall what the lowest under he's ever seen ever all time.
I will.
Because I heard Eli Savoy talking about this. If LSU and USC played, where would you put that over? You'd have to make it. So I want to ask Bruce tomorrow. What's the highest? What's the largest over? What's the smallest under he's ever seen in all of his years? My big number is 31, close to yours. 31 straight years for Ohio State playing Penn State. That's the longest active streak for any Big Ten opponent, because remember, Michigan and Ohio State did not play in COVID year. That was so sad when they didn't play. And this is toward the end of this run. They will play next year in 24 and in 25. And then with the new scheduling model in the Big Ten, that there will be times that they don't see each other. So since Penn State joined, it's been a great run. And I think Saturday, I can't wait to watch Big Noon and game day from there. And I'll have the back button working whenever Urban Meyer or Mark Ingram speaking. I keep it on Big Noon, and then when someone else starts talking, I go to game day
back
for Herb Street and just back and forth.
I like that. Play bounce back and forth. So they're both going to be at Penn State and Ohio State.
I think so. I think that's right.
I like that. I have no idea. I have gotten so bad. I mean, I used to know every single week when I was younger of where college game day is going to be, and I've gotten so bad that they're going to be in Columbus, and C.J. Stroud's going to be the guest picker. How about that, Brett?
Well, I wonder who gets first digs on the setup, because historically, when it's been just game day there, they get that area where they were last year for Ohio State and Michigan, right out kind of between, I think it's Little John Arena, the old arena on Ohio State campus, and kind of that grand promenade entranceway into that great stadium. I wonder who gets dibs.
That is interesting. I that's a good question. I have no idea.
Times are changing.
I know when they were both at Colorado a couple weeks back, and I think it was week 2, and it seemed like, or week 3, it seemed like they were like set up on like the opposite sides of the stadium from each other, because you could see the same mountain in the background and the same like building off to one side for each. So it looked like they just were like, okay, Fox, you're going to be on this side of the stadium. ESPN, you're going to be over here on this side of the stadium. It was weird.
You know, last year at Ohio State, Michigan, they both were there, and I want to say Big Noon was inside the stadium the whole time.
Really?
In the south end zone. And then the last hour, game day moved into the north end zone for helmet selection time. And it was very close to that Michigan corner, the opposing corner, that Bill Bender said, Penn State would be carved out there. And they were close to that.
Huh, so maybe that's what they'll do on Saturday. I don't know. I am glad though, Brett. We are both very familiar with C.J. Stroud, so we don't need to look up this guest picker and try to figure out if we know him or not, like we have the last couple of weeks. But
my man Jack Harlow, and who was the guy last week?
John Hale.
The guy last week played tight end at Washington in the day.
Did he really?
Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yes.
Joel Hale, I guess I should say, not John Hale. Joel.
John.
Yeah. John McHale. Oh, I'm just completely messing up his name.
Boy, we blew it.
Joel McHale is his name. There we go. So just for the record,
and he
Joel McHale.
in the day he played football at UW.
Wow.
He was on the team. I didn't realize that until
I had no idea.
last week.
You saw.
I know this.
He completely painted his body purple and gold for the.
Please tell me he had on.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, look, I went checking, Brett, but I do believe so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have to rely on the paint. I know I can rely on heading down Highway 78, first exit into Mississippi's Kraft Goodman Road, and I'm there at All-Star Chevrolet for Chevy truck season. It's here, you're there, and they're ready. If you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star's got them. Deals that are spot on to save you big cash, and your good credit, it deserves it. Financing as low as $0. No payment for 90 days. 0 and 90. What a deal that could be for you this year and into next year. Plus, you get $1,000 back in cash and All-Star with all the Silverados, fall road trips, tailgating, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, bowl games. Timing could not be better. Come to Olive Branch and drive a new Tahoe or Traverse. And if you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned, All-Star's loaded. They got a Suburban. They have a Lexus. They have a Camaro. They have a lot of Camaro convertibles. If it's not on the lot, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin, they always tell me to tell everyone thank you so much who've brought their cars and trucks to All-Star to sell. Get a check today for some great cash at All-Star. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, not Bartlett, not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's wrap up this hour. When we come back to start our 5 o'clock hour, Greg Gaston will join us to talk Tigers.
Looking for your next car? Give Car Corner a try. Car Corner, located at 2653 Mount Moriah. They specialize in cars under $15,000. Bad credit? No problem at Car Corner. CarCornerMemphis.com. That's CarCornerMemphis.com. They even have cash cars under $7,000. That's Car Corner at 2653 Mount Moriah. CarCornerMemphis.com. Look for the building with the teal green roof.
Country music singer-songwriter Kylie Morgan loves her ring from Genesis Diamonds.
I wanted something simple and with the stone that I loved, and that's exactly what he got. And then we dressed it up a little bit with the wedding bands, got a little firework action looking around it, and he definitely killed it when it came to choosing the ring.
Kylie's then-fiancé Jay did a lot of research, but chose Genesis because of the reputation, the quality, the personal service, and of course, the value.
Any man can walk through that door and know that, he's not going to be upsold or pressured to buy anything.
Kylie ended up writing a collection of songs about her bridal experience, including the viral sensation Bridesmaids.
I had at least 1,000 DMs asking from future brides where I got my ring, who I worked with because of the viral song. I think everyone kind of just looked at me as the person to ask.
And Kylie's advice to all those girls?
Go to Genesis. It's been a great experience, and they'll take care of you.
Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Sports and blinds, they just go together. And right now, all Sports 56 listeners get $50 off any order at Blinds Etc. South. Real wood, 3.5 to 4.5 inch plantation shutters made in the Mid-South are always affordable at Blinds Etc. South. And now get $50 off your order. Get your free in-home consultation at 901-681-0225 or go to blindsetceteraSouthLLC.com. Upgrade your home with custom-made plantation shutters and window treatments from Blinds Etc. South.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. The heavy traffic trying to get out of Midtown right now. It's busy over here on I-40 up by Chelsea. A steady flow of traffic coming down 240 southbound at South Parkway. All that traffic leaving Midtown. It's a little bit slow sometimes as you travel down 240 getting onto 385 or continuing 240 east over here at Poplar. Weimer's Jewelry. They're back open better than ever. 7525 Highway 64. Go by and see them. They are your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us now to talk Tigers. You can hear him every morning with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. You can also catch him on the Tigers sidelines. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. I know we got to get to the Battle of the Bones, Memphis versus UAB this weekend, but I want to start with that game last Friday night. It feels like a long time since that game happened between Memphis and Tulane.
It really does.
Wait, it really does. Greg, what did you make of the start for the Tigers? I feel like we've talked all season about these slow starts, but more specifically, Seth Hennigan's start. I heard y'all when we were done on the radio talking about just like 1 for 10 for the start, and just he looked out of it at the start of the game. Now looked better when they had that 21-0 run, but what'd you make of that start for the Tigers against Tulane on Friday night?
Well, first of all, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on once again. Looking forward to the trip to Birmingham. But yeah, it was disappointing, and it has been a broken record this year with the Tigers for the most part, getting off to slow starts. They have fallen behind their last 4 opponents. And with a guy like Seth Hennigan, who's a junior and has been there and has done that and has had a lot of starts, you don't expect that. And from talking to the coaches and really getting the inside scoop on things, it wasn't that it was Seth Hennigan just all of a sudden has become a bad passer and is missing guys by 10 yards. The consensus was that he was almost too jacked up for this game. He was too fired up for this game. And we saw that with his play early, which was erratic. And once he settled down into a nice groove and led that team to obviously that 21-10 lead. Unfortunately, defensively, they couldn't keep that lead. And then Tulane made some adjustments defensively to shut down the Tigers the rest of the way. But it has been, again, a recurring theme with this slow start for the offense, slow start for Seth, slow start really for this team. And they got to get out of that funk because right now, the margin, it's a slim margin for error as far as the rest of the season goes. If they're going to reach their goal, and that's to get to the conference championship game.
But Greg, if somehow the Tigers got on that roll, and I think they could, now all August preseason leading up to picks, I had the Tigers losing this one to drop this one to Tulane or to UAB, and then going on a roll and finishing 9-3. And I don't think people should freak out, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think people should freak out if they do. If they don't, and they go on this roll, I don't fear a rematch with Tulane anywhere, even if it's at Ullman.
They would love that opportunity. They would love to get a rematch with Tulane. But I can guarantee you this, Brett, you've been around here long enough. If they lose that game Saturday to UAB, people are going to be not only freaking out, they will be freaked out. So even though I understand, and that's a solid prediction of 9-3. You shouldn't sneeze about going 9-3. But right now, people look at that schedule and they go, listen, you had a chance to beat Missouri. You didn't beat Missouri. You had a chance to beat Tulane at home. You hadn't lost to them since last century at home.
Teams.
You lost to them, right? So now what is your opportunity to get a quality win? The best team on the schedule the rest of the way with 6 more games to go is SMU, and it's not like they're exactly getting close to the top 25 here. So these are games that they expect to win, and a UAB team that can't stop anybody right now. They can score. They have a pretty good offense. But defensively, they are really, really bad. And if you lose this game, it is going to be pretty crazy on talk radio come next Monday.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. But I don't think they will lose because I think they have a lot of difference makers, playmakers. The second gear on Blankensee and Taylor is, it's Big Ten, SEC, Pac-12 second gears.
They are very solid. Again, Rock Taylor's been with the program. Blankensee is a newcomer this year, and these guys have had very solid, if not very, very strong seasons. But they still have plays in games that you scratch your head. There's still the big drop in the open field with nobody around him. There's still Rock Taylor, who had put together several straight 100-yard receiving games, and then he takes one off the shoulder pad that deflects and ends up in a hands of a Tulane defensive back. That was a critical turnover right there. The turnover that bounced the way for Tulane positively, and the 3 that could have been interceptions for Memphis that fell out of the hands of their defensive backs, and Tulane maintained possession and were able to score a touchdown. It's it followed the bouncing ball, and the bouncing ball didn't go the way of the Tigers, unfortunately, against Tulane on Friday night. But you're right, Brett. Blankensee, Rock Taylor, at times, more times than not, they have been called upon to make big plays, and they have done so. And remember, this is a revamped receiving core from last year, as most of those guys left. The one thing we don't see a lot of is the use of the tight end by design, catching the ball down the seam like we're used to in, probably for the last 10, 12 years. When you think about those Memphis tight ends, there have been a number of them going back to Alan Cross, who played in the National Football League.
Greg, I know you've seen every down, probably more than once, with watching on tape and replays of games. Bryant's watched it very closely. It was the first time I really got to watch the Tigers real close and be there for the game. Here was my biggest takeaway, and I think both of y'all were probably already there. This is a good Memphis Tigers team. This is a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that take. I don't think people are going to argue that take. This is a good, solid Memphis football team. But people want to see exceptional. They want to see.
They want to see hay in the barn. Yeah.
Yes, they want to see a team playing in the conference championship game. Look, the whole narrative last week was to be the best, you have to beat the best. Well, currently Tulane's the best, and you did not beat the best. And there's other people that look at it and go, oh, come on, it's Tulane for goodness sakes, right? You can't beat Tulane. Well, Tulane's really, really good. But you had them at home, you had them down 21-10. So it is extremely disappointing. Now, the good thing is the players have responded according to Ryan Silverfield, other coaches that I spoke with today at coaches' meetings, that they did not let that loss linger. They got right back to work. They are fired up because they know they can go on this run. When you look at that schedule, and it's tough. It's tough to win 6 games in a row anywhere against anybody. But it's doable. It's certainly doable. And if it happens, then they could very well be in the conference championship game. It's not automatic, but there are some interesting games coming up, including this weekend where Florida Atlantic will play UTSA. Both those teams are undefeated in conference play, so somebody's going to get their first conference loss.
Greg, are you worried at all about the availability of Blake Watson? I know didn't get a ton of carries in that game Friday night. After the game, Coach Silverfield was a little vague about it, and then on Monday he said that Blake Watson was day-to-day. What have you heard about Blake Watson's health and his availability on Saturday?
Yeah, it was very vague. It was very unusual, but it is what it is, and that has passed. We expect Blake Watson to be playing, to be running back number 1 on Saturday.
Greg Gaston with us from the Tigers sideline. You look great down on the sideline and on the Jumbotron all night, Greg. He's brought to you with us every week by the law offices of Stephen Leffler, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, Neil's Bar and Grill, Chet Whitsett, your Cry-Like realtor. No, seriously, Greg, great job. And I told people I was sitting around, they showed you on the Jumbotron doing kind of a skull session, keys to the game. And I said, you want it done well? I asked Greg to do it, and you did it well.
Well, it's very kind of you, Brett.
I usually, when I see you on the Jumbotron, Greg, I just say, hey, I work with that guy. So a little different.
As long as people aren't throwing tomatoes at the big screen, I'm happy.
Nobody's got that kind of arm. The slow starts for the Tigers, do you think that is coached to come out and maybe get in the ring and spar a little bit with Ryan Silverfield, maybe scared that if he came out guns a-blazing, you might have a turnover or two and dig too deep of a hole?
Now, who'd you say? Did you say Dilfer?
No, for Ryan Silverfield. Do you think the Tigers come out and start slow because it's coached that way, because he's scared to maybe let them cut loose for digging too deep of a hole?
Oh, interesting. I'm sorry. I thought you had said something Dilfer had said. But I don't know, Brett. I mean, it's an interesting point. We've asked Ryan Silverfield that, and he really doesn't have an answer as to why. You know these guys are well coached. You know they have a game plan going in, and I'm as curious, it's as curious as anything I've seen, and I know as much as you know, which is nothing as far as like why they're getting off continuously the slow starts. Again, the Tulane game, you can put some of the blame on how amped up the quarterback was, Seth Hannigan. And
that was just flutter balls too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when is that? Now he's missed some receivers this year, early days, but 1 of 10. I don't think he's ever gotten off to a start like that. But it doesn't answer the question why they got off to a slow start against Navy, why they got off to a slow start against Boise State, on and on and on. And here's the thing. You don't want to give UAB that feeling that they can beat you, because remember, they did blow away South Florida, and it looked like South Florida was improved earlier this year. They did go toe-to-toe for a while there with Tulane. They have a team that could score points. So let's say you get off to a slow start, they get off to a quick start, you turn over the ball 1 or 2 times, and they turn teams over. They have recovered a lot of fumbles. For some reason, they're able to turn teams over. All of a sudden, you're looking up at a big deficit against UAB. They're feeling confident. They're on their home field, and then it could spiral. So it's important to finally get out of the darn gate quickly. I think if Memphis wins the toss, I don't know if this will happen. I predicted last week if they won the toss, they would defer. And they did. I predict that if they win the toss, they probably want the football. They are going to want to score early on. Because here's the thing. UAB has an offense, but they don't have a defense. So this could be one of those games that is up and down, up and down, up and down. But I think UAB is playing a better defense than most of the teams they've played this year. except for maybe Tulane.
Greg, speaking of UAB, you mentioned Trent Dilfer. Y'all had him on the morning show yesterday in that interview. If anybody missed it, it's in featured audio on the website. It was a great interview with Trent Dilfer. Thanks. What have you thought about the job he's done so far? Obviously, first-year coach, kind of an off-the-wall hire, being a high school coach, to come in and take over at UAB. What have you thought of the job he's done there? You mentioned that offense seemingly getting better every single game. What have you thought of the job Trent has done?
Look, he's done a fair job. It's tough. You're walking into a situation you've never been a part of. He's coached, obviously, high-level high school out of Nashville, but he has not coached college football. He runs right into a D1 job, not a D3 or an NAIA job or a junior college job. So thrown right into the fire. He has to go out there and has to recruit some players. He has to recruit the players that they already had on the roster to keep them, because they could have easily taken off, and some of them certainly did. But it is not an easy job, and I think he's done a good job. I know they're 2-5. I understand that. But if you're just strictly looking at the record, well, then people are going to go, yeah, he's really struggling. I love the out-of-the-box hire.
Yeah.
I do. Not everyone I'm in love with, but for the most part, I really do like out-of-the-box hires. It's not like the guy doesn't know football, for goodness sake. He was the quarterback of a Super Bowl winning team. He knows the game like the back of his hand. Now, give this guy some time. He is going to get skill position players. He's going to get guys that want to play for him. There's no question about it. Now, can he get those defensive players? If he can get some of those defensive players and dudes in the trenches, UAB could be a force in football in this conference. I like the hire. I really do, and I think he's doing a pretty good job. He knows what he has this year. He was very cordial in what he was saying about things involving this game against Memphis. He was very flattering of Ryan Silverfield and the staff and the job that they're doing. He says all the right things. He knows the game. Even though it's his first year in college football, he knows how to play the game. I like the hire. I like the guy. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, but he knows it's before they can walk, they got to crawl.
Yeah, and Greg, I like it too. And UAB made it work with Billy Clark after they crushed football and then brought it back. And Bill Clark won, and now Trent Dilfer, kind of outside the box, not exactly the model. This is a big time guy, Super Bowl winner, as you said, number one first round pick, 6th overall for the Buccaneers. 5 different teams, was great on TV. Now, here's the only thing I'm scared of, and you referenced it. You touched on it. Sometimes offensive guys, all they want is get me the ball.
Right. They want to outscore you.
You got to play some defense.
As long as they can put up 35 or more, they feel they can win games. But no, you have to play some defense. And defensively, they got a coordinator they like. I mean, who knows what will happen for the future? And again, will players want to come play there for him on the defensive side? Now, NIL has a big say in all of that, right? And I'm not talking about that he's beaten out Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa or Hugh Freeze down the road in Auburn. But I'm saying as far as his battles with American Conference teams for certain players, especially those transfer players, what kind of commitment financially will they have to the program? The fact that this program was null and void, it was DOA. It was done to put. And they resurrected, like you said, Bill Clark, what a job he did, have a beautiful on-campus stadium that I haven't seen yet, and I'm looking forward to being there. But Eli Savoy, of course, my co-host on Mornings, has been there a couple of times for the Showboats, USFL, and he says it's outstanding. So they love it. The commitment was made at least to that stadium. If they got some NIL money to go around, they're going to get some players. I think I'm not going to say the sky's the limit, but certainly the trajectory is in the right direction for UAB football.
So you're not going to miss Legion Field.
The memories, though, and you have a lot more memories than me. But yeah, I'm not gonna miss it at all. Man, that got scary there for a while.
It really did. I'll quote the great Bob Gibson about leaving Busch Stadium 2 for Busch Stadium 3. He goes, "We'll make new memories. We can make new memories away from Legion Field.
Make new memories in a beautiful facility." You're absolutely right. Yeah, I remember when I first went to Legion Field, I go, "Wow, man, I'm going to a historic stadium, and it was fun and everything." And then subsequent times I went there, and I'm like, man, this place is really bad,
Yeah.
man. It's beaten down. It's weathered worn. Yeah, they can't play any more games here. And, of course, they were playing at Bryant-Denny. But UAB was playing there, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, they were. Greg, obviously we've seen a lot of, there's been a lot of talk, and you've seen a lot of things on social media, Battle of the Bones, you've seen the trophy. UAB, I guess, got it before the season so that they could do some social media stuff with it, but it's with the Tigers right now. What can this rivalry get back to a point where people, I guess, consider it a rivalry and maybe get excited for the Battle of the Bones?
If the teams stay together for any length of time, it could get, I'm not going to say where people go crazy over the rivalry, but it could bring
But can
back
have fun
those
with
memories.
it.
Yeah.
They can have fun with it. They can have. I think right now, first year back after the long hiatus, it's cute, right? The battle for the bones and all that stuff. But if you have longevity, and look, let's be honest here, Memphis doesn't want longevity. They want out of that conference, and I'm sure UAB's the same way, right? But let's just say that there's nothing you do about it, and there's the longevity. They stay together, and they have this rivalry. They're, 240 miles apart or whatever the distance is, 3.5 hours. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. College football is all about rivalries. And even though we've had this the mass exodus of teams leaving conferences and going somewhere else, hopefully the rivalries will continue. We're not going to lose Army-Navy. We're not losing Ohio State-Michigan. We're not losing the Iron Bowl and the Egg Bowl. They will continue for a long, long time. And maybe, again, it will pick up some steam. It was pretty decent when Memphis played UAB for the Bones, but nothing compared to some of those other great rivalries in college football. So to answer your question, it's going to have to be a time-consuming thing, and over time, perhaps the two fan bases will get back into it and really care about that nearly 100-pound trophy.
Yeah, and frankly, Craig, from the Tiger perspective, win this game, conference realignment, never see you again. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they would love nothing better. But look, all you can do is play the games in front of you, win those games, hopefully win impressively, and then see what happens. But for Memphis, again, as I said earlier, there's really no margin for error now. They haven't done anything that we thought they wouldn't do. I mean, most people thought they'd be 4-2 at this point. They lost 2 games to 2 top 25 teams. Nothing to cry about over that. But with the 6 games that they have left, and we can go over that list: UAB, North Texas, SMU, USF, Charlotte, and Temple. I mean, come on. If you don't see 5 automatics in there, if not 6, then I don't know what you're looking at. Some of the poorest defenses that are in the entire 133-team FBS. Memphis has to win these games, and they are fired up. They are ready to go. They did not allow that loss to take away that excitement that they have about the possibilities for this season.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the rest of the season is shaping up for the Tigers, and you just got to go out there and get the job done. But, Greg, thanks so much for joining us. It should be a fun weekend for the Tigers, and we'll do it again next Thursday.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Safe travels, Brett.
Good luck, Phillies.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you now. Bye-bye.
You got it. Phillies playing right now. Greg Gaston's team. I know he's grinding on that and trying to talk to us, and we sure appreciate Greg joining us. And Greg's right about that schedule. But to people, if there's a loss Saturday and the freak out that will come, I know it will be. Look, the rest of that schedule, that's what I had all summer is 9-3. That's the schedule they're playing. You don't go redo the schedule in the middle of the year and bring in Notre Dame. I mean, look, they got to play the rest of this schedule, and if they win all that, are we really going to get that picky about 9-3?
I mean, I won't, but I'm sure there are people that will.
I sure won't.
There will be people, I'm sure. But he's absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, when you look past UAB, the schedule sets up North Texas, USF, Charlotte, SMU, and Temple. I mean, you should be favored in all of those games. The only game I look at and think maybe not is SMU, but you're at home, so you should at least be favored, and it might be a close competitive game. So, yeah, I mean, everything's in front of them. I think, I said it earlier this week, you look back at the 2 losses for the Tigers, one against now 23rd ranked Tulane and now 20th ranked Missouri. So both those teams are nationally ranked teams, and I think very respected for what they've done this year. So I don't think you should be upset with anything the Tigers have done to this point.
Preseason, I was 9-3, and I had Missouri, Tulane, and UAB as my 3 losses.
Yeah.
Preseason, you were 8-4. You had Mizzou, Boise, Tulane, and SMU as your 4 losses.
Yeah.
Brian, if they're going to freak over 9-3, they're really going to freak over losing to SMU later in the year.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're right, but I mean, SMU's.
I don't know that I can hold them back.
No.
I don't know that I don't know that I'm going to attempt to.
But
I know I can't hold them back.
Good thing for them is we've already passed. Check off a win for one of the games out of loss. So now I guess looking at 9-3, right. if it goes how I predicted it to go.
Yeah, after John King at the big board on election night, after you move it to one side, you don't want to give it back.
That's right. That's right. So hey, I don't know, but I think they shouldn't be. Nobody should be upset with a 9-3 season, but I'm sure there will be some people, and that's okay.
I hope we don't even have to discuss it on Monday. I hope it's a win over
so.
UAB. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Hewlett and Dunn, Boot and Jean. They're on the historic square in Collierville. They've been there since 1961. Charles and Laura Hall, they own the place. Charles started working there in his teens, and now with his wife Laura, they are the team that owns the place, known for all the great boots, but also accessories, clothing, a cap for any team for any season. Work boots, safety toe or soft toe boots, rubber boots, western wear. They've got it all. Boots for every occasion. Work or play, they've got it at Hewlett and Dunn. From head to toe, they have you covered with every brand imaginable. Dan Post, Anderson Bean, Ariat. Whether for men or women, they have you covered.
And it's not just the boots. Men's and women's clothing like jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duck head collection you'll find. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville or to their website, hewlettdunn.com. They also got you covered for the accessories, hats, sunglasses, boot care products in every area, team snapback, and cool hat that you can think of, whether it be the Tigers, Mississippi State, UT, Ole Miss, or the Razorbacks. They've got it, and for travel, their bag selection is absolutely top-notch. HewlettDunn.com, but please head out to Collierville, pay them a visit, and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville at Hewlett and Dunn. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango Habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or Sweet Maple Bourbon, the taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. And now open the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the $9.99 lunch special. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Applin and Kirby Whitten and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
Hi, this is Jonah Gamble, left guard for University of Memphis football. Let us help you use your home's value for all those projects or vacations you've been putting off. Now you can borrow up to 100% loan to value. No closing costs for loans $50,000 or less. Online banking accessible. Interest-only payments for the first 10 years. You can apply at southernsecurity.org or by calling our member service team at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is an equal housing lender. Southern Security is a proud sponsor of the University of Memphis.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
If you want a deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, because we've got Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days still going strong. If you're looking to save up to $12,000 off a new ride, we Gossett covered. Right now, take your pick. 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit 4-wheel drive or 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $12,000 off MSRP. And 2023 Wagoneer L Series 111 4x4, $10,000 off MSRP. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Wagoneer PS5 64,158, MSRP 117,430. Cherokee P88 76 88.9, MSRP 80,205. Gladiator PL 509 834, MSRP 68,815. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Ready to unlock your home's potential? A huge sale has up to 50% off retail at Everything's Yours Appliances, with 2 convenient locations in Mississippi: 7095 Hacks Cross Road, Olive Branch, and 8478 Highway 178 West in Byhalia. Invest in new appliances knowing you got a great deal. Everything's Yours Appliances has no credit financing available with low down payment and delivery. Everything's Yours Appliances has all major appliances and name brands. Hurry to Everything's Yours Appliances, where customers are number one.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We're still working this terrible wreck over here on 40 eastbound and Abilene. Traffic's just crawling along down through here in slow motion on 40 eastbound, again, between Sycamore View Road and Abilene. There's just so much traffic over here on this side of town as it is this time of the afternoon. Still heavy on 240 getting on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway. There's an adventure around every corner at the Memphis Zoo. A whole lot going on. Check out their website at memphiszoo.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Times. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show, and we got to talk about what's trending. And Brett, we got to give an update on this baseball game as we're in about the 6th inning, and not the way I thought this game was going to play out. We had 2 pitchers that really have not been great this season. One very young pitcher, and both coming in with pretty high ERAs. But Brandon Pfaadt on one side, the rookie, 5.2 innings, only gave up 2 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts. On the other side, Ranger Suarez, we don't know yet if he will come out for the 6th inning, but he's 5 innings through, 2 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, Brett, in a game where the total, in a postseason game, and we remember talking about some of these totals sitting at 7, 7.5, 8, a game where the total was sitting at 9.5. It is 0-0 in the top of the 6th. Yeah, 9.5 was the total today.
That's among the largest postseason over-unders that I've seen for this postseason, because it's all been in that really tight trading range, and it feels like it's been an under playoffs, has it?
It seems like it has. Now, when you're talking about like the Phillies, they've really been almost getting overs by themselves. Last night was an over in Texas and Houston. But yeah, a lot of these games have been low scoring, have been tight, and I think everyone assumes you're going to throw your best pitchers out there. You're gonna, it's going to be tight, and you're going to limit runs. But this one certainly is two pitchers that I didn't think we would see that from. But 0-0 right now, 2 outs. Kyle Schwarber on first base with, I believe, Trey Turner
out of
up
the inning.
now. Wow, out of the inning. So
I mean, just zeros everywhere. Boy, there's a lot of zeros on that board.
It sure is. So, I mean, hey, I'm happy to see a game like this. Kind of more, I think, what we're used to with postseason baseball instead of what we've seen with the Phillies, just this home run parade where it seems like everybody on the team has 2 home runs in a single game. But I'm just a little lost for words because I just didn't think Brandon Pfaadt. It's been a lot of jokes made about him and his start today. But
Fight,
however you pronounce it.
PFAADT,
whatever it is, he was good today.
He was electric today, 0-2-0 for both teams through 6 in that one. And, we hadn't heard anybody really complaining about length of games or not even that much about even in shortness. At playoff time, it's not as big a deal as it is in regular season games. But here's one for Saturday in college football. Watch the run time in this one. Air Force at Navy.
Oh, man. That's a great Air Force
fall
team,
under
too.
3 hours in that one.
Easily, I think. Yeah. Very easily. That should be a good game. Isn't that game on CBS?
That game is on CBS.
So that'll be a fun one to watch. Everyone can play along and watch that game and see what the runtime is. But you're right, and that's a really good Air Force team, a Navy team that obviously a new coach. They're trying to get things together. But Air Force, I know I've heard a lot of people say might be could be the Group of 5 representative in the New Year's 6 bowl game. I haven't really gotten to see them play much this year, but I'm definitely going to make sure I tune into that one on Saturday.
I don't know who the announced team for that game is because Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson, they will be in Tuscaloosa. And for all the games that Gary Danielson's done there, and I don't get all the criticism that I see every week of him. I don't get it, whatever. I don't get it. I don't have that for him. I like him a lot. He's always been very nice to me with his time at SEC Media Days and just in general, whatever. This has to be either this game. I feel like they'll do LSU on November 4th. I feel like that'll be CBS. But this will be it for Gary Danielson at a place that he's about had to pay property tax. He's been at Bryant-Denny so many times through the years with CBS. But it's coming to an end.
You're absolutely right. It looks like for the Navy Air Force game, it's going to be Rich Waltz on play-by-play and Aaron Taylor on color. So it's a good team. But
Jenny Dale on sidelines with Brad and Gary. And last year, I took some exception to it. Post game when she presented the box of cigars to Josh Heupel, I didn't think that's her role.
No, it's not.
I mean,
it's just not.
Do you think Saturday if Nick Saban wins, she's got a box of Cubans she's going to hand Nick Saban?
Well, that'd be great if she did, but no chance. No chance.
But I don't think that's the post game reporter's role to be having props.
No, but you're seeing a lot of
a national broadcast.
Yeah,
if it's the Tennessee person,
sure,
heck yeah,
absolutely,
smoke them if you got them.
Absolutely. But yeah, when you're national, CBS, and you're doing a post game hit with the winning coach, yeah, that just seems like a little much.
And was very giddy. I mean, it flew all over me last year.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. We do have a statement from Jim Harbaugh about this new NCAA investigation. Let me read that statement, and then I want to get your thoughts on it, Brett. This was the statement from Michigan head football coach Jim Harbaugh. I want to make it clear that I and my staff will fully cooperate with the investigation into this matter. I do not have any knowledge or information regarding the University of Michigan football program illegally stealing signs, nor have I directed any staff member or others to participate in an off-campus scouting assignment. I have no awareness of anyone on our staff having done that or having directed that action. I do not condone or tolerate anyone doing anything illegal or against NCAA rules. No matter what program or organization that I have led throughout my career, my instructions and awareness of how we scout opponents have always been firmly within the rules. Pursuant to NCAA rules, I will not be able to comment further while this investigation takes place.
Yeah, and he just effectively shut it down, and I don't blame him. Good job by Michigan in rapid response or in response to it. I think a lot of this had to come from somebody on the inside of the Big Ten. This isn't Georgia complaining about it. This is somebody in the Big Ten that got the Big Ten's attention, got the Big Ten office, the commissioner's attention.
Got a lot of people's attention, not only the Big Ten, you're absolutely right about that, but I even saw, I think it was in the ESPN story the breaking news story that came out earlier today, that even some sports books in Vegas were starting to send out messages to various people talking about how there might be something going on with Michigan and stealing signs, and just be aware, and if they have to lock certain plays on Michigan, that might be coming soon. So not just the Big Ten and Michigan football, Vegas is in it now.
Well, and that's where a lot of the college baseball stuff started.
Sure did. Basically
out of Vegas, and we're not talking about any games fixed. It very different circumstances, but also Vegas is they're in tune, and it's why. And you know who I think should be it? It should be Bruce Marshall.
Yeah,
I think someone from a Vegas connection should be on that selection committee going forward in college football.
No, I think
they know the sport better than anyone.
I think you're right, and we always talk about Vegas knows. I mean, they have a good feel on things, and
they've got a vested interest to know.
They sure do,
I mean,
so I think
this
you're right.
Isn't casual participants.
No, it is not, and there's there's a pretty good chunk of money over in Vegas that has very much a large interest in what is going on in not only college sports but professional sports.
And forever, we ran from anything Vegas connected.
Now we're running to it.
And now running to it, and just everybody hip deep, either already advertising with them or wanting to advertise with them. And I don't know when Vegas when it would circulate to them hosting, but they're going to have the national championship game there someday. I think this year in Houston. But Vegas is going to get involved on that, and then Final Fours and Super Bowl is going to be there in February, and all the sports once Oakland makes a decision. Sounds like Oakland's going to be stuck in Oakland for 24 though,
which is kind of the
maybe even 25,
which would even more be worst case scenario, because even if you are the biggest proponent of Oakland staying in Oakland and not going to Las Vegas, I think the worst possibility is having an organization that, first off, their own ownership does not care about. It's hard for fans to care about an organization that nobody in an ownership position cares about being there additional years after they've basically said, you know what, City of Oakland, you know what, Oakland fans, we don't really care about y'all either. Not only do we not care about the team, we don't care about y'all. We're going to Vegas, and we don't really care what happens until we get there to the flashing lights of Vegas. And so it could get really miserable and really ugly if they have to stay in Oakland for multiple years.
I read a story somewhere, West Coast, San Francisco, one of the Bay Area newspapers, maybe even Sacramento, that they have a plan that they could even play at the L.A. Coliseum for a year.
Really?
Which, that would be a ghost town.
I certainly would. That's interesting. That would be, I don't
a lot
even
of
know
different
what to think
plans.
about that. A lot. I mean, I think they have to, because I think the idea of being in Oklahoma. I mean, the idea to begin with of just going out and saying we're moving to Vegas before anything has been set in place, before a stadium is even voted on for a specific spot. Do you remember that, Brett, when we were going on weeks where it was going to be in this spot, then it was going to be in this spot, then we didn't know, oh, maybe it will be back in this spot. Oh, no, we don't even know if we can get a spot in Vegas to put a team.
I think they've already paid and will be renting a spot in Vegas for next year already.
I think so. Well, they have their minor league team there, so maybe, I know a lot of people have said maybe you use that venue as the spot, but I don't know.
But minor league schedules are out. Big league schedules are out for next year. They're playing in Oakland next year.
Oh, absolutely, and so who knows? I mean,
what will those crowds?
I was just about to say we've seen miserable crowds this year for those games, and I mean, I would be surprised.
You know who has expressed interest in buying them, but they're not for sale.
They should be.
I think it's Joe Lacob, the owner. Is that the name of the owner of Golden State? Of the Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I said San Francisco Warriors early. I meant Golden State. I'm sorry for that mistake. But he has said he would buy them, and the current owner said they're not for sale. You're not buying anything.
Yeah, no, and I think it's almost
Lacob would keep them in Oakland.
Sure would, and would really rejuvenize that franchise.
But how much you trust him? Because he didn't mind moving to West Bay.
That's very true. That is very true. That's a good point. But honestly, Brett, I mean, I would pick anybody than what they have right now in Oakland, because
about anybody.
It's really miserable what they've got going on now.
Anybody this side of Donnie Sterling.
Yes. Yes. But it really seems like for this ownership group and owner for Oakland now, it almost seems like a gripe now of like everyone is telling him you need to sell it. Nobody wants you as the owner, and he's almost like, well, I mean, I'm not going to sell it now. I'm certainly not. I wasn't going to before,
really
but now
I'm
all 10 toes down. I'm going to keep them.
I'll even be worse.
Exactly, and so it really could get miserable in Oakland, and I really hate it for them. We're still 0-0 at the end of the sixth inning. We do have a new pitcher for the Phillies, and still nothing. 3 hits for Arizona, 2 hits for Philly. It looked like Arizona had something going at the top or at their first at bat of this inning. Ketel Marte hit a double, but then really couldn't do anything after that. But let's get to our final break of the day, and when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Sports and blinds, they just go together. And right now, all Sports 56 listeners get $50 off any order at Blinds Etc. South. Real wood, 3.5 to 4.5 inch plantation shutters made in the Mid-South are always affordable at Blinds Etc. South. And now get $50 off your order. Get your free in-home consultation at 901-681-0225 or go to blindsetcetera.southllc.com. Upgrade your home with custom-made plantation shutters and window treatments from Blinds Etc. South.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett and Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678 6055, MSRP 21610, Nero P5017859, MSRP 41090, EV6 P5017859, MSRP 49687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $29.99 due at signing. I've got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 due at signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Gene Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
How you like me now? 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 How you like me now?
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, we talked earlier in the week that the Olympics have officially voted to add flag football for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Well, I learned last night that not only is the NFL allowing their players to participate in the 2028 flag football event in the Olympics, they're encouraging their players to participate in Los Angeles in the Olympics. So it could be interesting. Maybe the team people, since those reports came out yesterday, people have been fantasizing over what a Team USA flag football team could look like. Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, I mean, some of the best athletes in the world playing for them. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but it sounds like NFL players are given a full go to participate in the Olympics.
Yeah, and all fun and games until Tyreek Hill tears up his knee playing Liechtenstein in flag football in the Olympics.
That's a very good point.
What I learned today, Mike Boynton, the head coach at Oklahoma State basketball, he better not hold his breath waiting on that apology he wants from the NCAA. You'll get one from the IRS before you'll get one from the NCAA. Like any big bloated bureaucracy full of pinheads, they never admit they're wrong because we're us and you're you. and we use big words like proportionality.
That's right, Brett. They're always right. That's one thing about the NCAA is, at least in their minds, they're always right. What I could have done without, Brett, this one is personal to me, and it breaks my heart. I saw this story in both the Commercial Appeal and the Daily Memphian this morning. Game Day Baseball, the youth baseball complex in Cordova, is shutting down. They're shutting down operations later this fall at the end of the year. And it's sad for me. I played a lot of games at that complex, and all the fields they have from the time you're really in elementary school all the way up before you start high school. I spent a lot of time there, me playing, my brother playing, our friends playing at games, really spending a lot of weekends of my childhood at game day, and so really sad to see the news. They said
where will those games go?
That's a good question. I know obviously South Haven has a very nice complex with Snowden Grove. Jackson obviously has one, but here locally in Memphis, that's a really good question. I really don't know. I'm curious. Maybe one of these local community parks that they have a handful of baseball fields. Maybe they try to start doing stuff there, but then you've got to deal with rec baseball and interfering with that sort of stuff. So it's really interesting, but really sad to see that Game Day Baseball looks like it won't be around in the spring.
I could have done without this. I'm glad for a day the national media, including the Cretans at ESPN.com, took a day off with the drive-by story garbage of unnamed sources at Memphis. And especially with the main sourcing some rando hot dog stand owner. I mean, who's this restaurateur they talked to? Has anybody found out it was pure rot? It makes me think this is the MO on a lot of these stories from a lot of national outlets, Bryant. I don't want to get like this, but I am very untrusting of the big national brand.
Well, I mean, when you read a story like that where we're getting comments about the grill Ja Morant has and the chains he's wearing from anonymous restaurant owner, I mean, it just, why even bother putting that in your story? Who is this?
There were a lot of overtones in that story.
There were, and that was just one of them, Brett. It was very. It was hard to read yesterday, I'll be honest. It was long.
It was over and undertones.
It really was. So, I'm glad that maybe we can start getting away from that. But where are you beaming tonight?
To the Dome in New Orleans. It'll be rocking. Saints at home against the Jags. How healthy is Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne? And he's a big-time back. And with Kirk, Ridley, and Ingram, they have enough firepower, and that Saints defense is the strength of their team. Good matchup tonight.
It is a good matchup tonight. Beam me to James Madison versus Marshall. 6-0 James Madison against 4-2 Marshall.
Of the United States, James Madison.
You're absolutely right. Brett, I was thinking about going way off the wall and saying beam me to Southeast Louisiana versus Northwestern State. Neither team has a win this year in FCS play.
Okay.
But I thought I'll just be normal for once and go with James Madison at Marshall.
And tonight, James Madison will be playing on TV, fourth president. At the same time, the 46th president will be speaking to the country from the Oval Office.
Wow, how about that? So James Madison, that is very heavy, but that is all the time we have today. Enjoy your night. Enjoy all of the sports on television, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.